This is Drop In, Drop Out, the weekly podcast where a mix of gamers come together to talk all about video games. My name is Patrick, but Jake joining me tonight on this episode. What are we talking about tonight, big dog?
This is the first annual Non-ies, the non-gaming awards here at Drop In, Drop Out. But I was worried. I said, these people come here for video games. What if they hear that we're not talking about video games tonight and they immediately tune out? So we said, let's protect that experience. Yeah. Let's also talk about our favorite games that did not come out in 2025 that we played this year.
Yeah.
So whether it was a revisit or an experience for the first time, one on the platform, obviously, our Game of the Year conversations are very dense. There's so many things being played by so many different people. There's a lot to talk about. We don't have room to talk about how much I still love Super Mario Brothers 3. So I needed a place to do that. And I said, Patrick, come along with me. But let me ask you, sir, how are you doing tonight? How you feeling?
You know, I could be better, but I could be worse. I was laying in this bed that's right behind me earlier today, and my beautiful wife, Rose, walked in, and she's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm just so tired. She's like, why? I was like, I don't know, but I'm sick of being tired all the time. She's like, well, we need to, be more active as people. Like, we need to work out, or we need to, fucking go to yoga classes or whatever. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. I just want to play video games and be a piece of shit.
Right.
So I could be better. I could feel better. But I'm excited to put the mask on and talk about video games, movies, television shows, maybe music, books, if I could read, but I can't. How are you tonight, Jake?
Let's have a mental health episode.
No, not today.
Right. I'm doing as good as somebody can do. I think in 2025, yeah? I feel like given the circumstances of the world, nothing on the news but the blues. We live in a political hellscape. Correct. Everything is terrible, but I love tuning out and paying attention to assorted pieces of media, and not just of the video game variety.
Let me ask you this. How many drinks did Luigi have today?
Luigi's looking like fucking Daniel Plainview in the background of my...
Not Daniel the Daniel Plainview pull. I mean, look at this fucking guy. Oh, hold on. Wrong button. Let me do a quick zoom.
Audio listeners,
look at Luigi right now.
Luigi. We call him Cuck Luigi. He just sits in the back and watches mostly. Yeah, he's sitting up in such a way. You know what it is? I had some buddies over the other day. So seats that aren't normally sat in were sit upon. And Luigi just got kind of pushed off of the side. And now he's just kind of been there. And he does have a Daniel Day-Lewis look in his eyes.
I've abandoned my boy! You know? I've abandoned my child!
Basket.
Oh, wait. Are we going to talk about There Will Be Blood tonight?
We should. We're now also talking about our favorite movies that did not come out this year. Let's expand it. My
name is Daniel Plainview, and that's my son, H.W. Plainfield. All right, I'm done.
H.W. When I say I'm an oil man, I think you'd agree. We should watch There Will Be Blood.
Correct.
That movie fucks. Will Paul Thomas Anderson, the director of said movie, or Daniel Day-Lewis, the star of said movie, pop up in my list of movies via one battle after another, or Anemone?
Oh, Anemone.
I don't know.
Anemone.
Listen, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We have to do some housekeeping.
Yeah.
And we have to do the cagiest housekeeping ever. Because it is so stupid. We have so much shit coming up that I don't want to spoil unceremoniously by telling you the details of on the podcast. But just know, if you're a fan of Drop In, Drop Out, there is so much coming up to look forward to. And way in the future, we'll call it a couple months from now, we have something massive we're not talking about. A little bit further into the future, think maybe end of the month, we have, of course, Game of the Year conversations coming up. That'll happen at some point. Don't worry, more details to follow. Leading up to that, however, things get funky, very funky. And I have one of the, I think our podcast is going to have one of the best holiday seasons of content that game podcasts can have. Please look forward to it. More details to follow, but just let me know. Everything is already set up. The ball is rolling, and it's going to be fantastic. However, in the immediate future, there's something that I want to pitch here ahead of time. A week from yesterday, that is on Wednesday, the 10th
Oh, yeah.
in the evening time. We expect to see you at twitch.tv/dropindropoutpod or in the future on youtube.com/@dropindropoutVod, because we are going to have the craziest night for small content creators in the Dido sphere that has ever existed, in what we are calling the 2025 Mario Kart Christmas Drop-In Dropout Invitational. Is that it? Is that all the keywords?
Yeah, I think so. That's enough buzzwords.
We had this idea the other day. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I was just streaming and popping off at the mouth as one does, and Patrick was in there, and I was like, Patrick, is this a good idea? And Patrick, while I was streaming, said, not only is that a good idea, but I'm going to put the ball in motion and make this thing happen. So the concept is extremely simple. The Game Awards are coming up on Thursday the 11th. The night before the Game Awards on Wednesday night, we're going to have one last hurrah on the Switch 2 launch title, Mario Kart World, which really none of us have played since it came out, since that initial burst of that first month. I want to give it one more shot. It's nominated for Best Family Game of the Year. I think it's a contender. And the idea is, not only does it get most of Drop-In Dropout together to play video games on the internet the way that we like to so much, but also let's involve not just the community, but also our frequent collaborators. Drop-In Dropout over this past year, between us and JK Games and Spotlight Games and the JT Streamosphere and the Cognitive Clipsathons, all of these things have brought so many people together. Let's get everybody together under one umbrella, and let's get a wild Discord call going and play some multiplayer. So we have tons and tons of friends of the show, people that are other podcast hosts, other podcast collaborators. We have people that have worked on the design of Drop-In Dropout stuff. Patrick, what am I forgetting about this?
You're not forgetting anything. I'm going to go through a quick little cast list of the only those confirmed. There are still some feelers out there, but so far we have you and me, obviously. We got the homie Gianni. We got Mr. The Human Plays, Eric himself. We got Shay Noel. We got Heroic Headgear in the chat currently. We got the Friendship Design in the chat currently. All these little logos you're seeing all over the place, done by him. We got the Dan Good Show rolling in. We got Megan, who was on the Silent Hill, or not the Silent Hill, the horror franchise battle episode. And those are just the ones confirmed. There's
first
a couple,
first ever
guest on the main pod. There's a few others out there in the ether sphere we're waiting to hear from, but all of those folks, I'm figuring out a way that everyone will be on camera on one screen. It's going to be fucking chaos.
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Me too. Patrick, I'm going to sneeze. You say some words.
Yeah. And a couple other things to mention in terms of housekeeping for scheduling stuff, because Jake already mentioned we're not going to get into the biggins, which we're probably going to start announcing next week as a little teaser. But this week we have more content still. Tomorrow night, right here on the channel, twitch.tv/dropindropoutpod, Samus's second husband, Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips, going to be streaming Metroid Prime 4 Beyond with High Score Weekly currently in the chat. Around 8-ish Eastern, 9-ish Eastern, somewhere in that time frame. They're going to start, probably go for an hour or two. And then Saturday night, I will be back in this chair, but across from me won't be Jake. No, it will be Samus's second husband, Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips, to do a little messy pod about Metroid as a certified freako, Jordan, and as someone who like really couldn't care less about the franchise but is playing the game. So it'll be a fun little back and forth on that. And then so that's what's coming up in the very, very immediate future right here on the channel.
Yeah, man. Hey, I wish every single podcast could have two people that are adept at filling each other's shoes and holes as you and I are, because goddamn, the way that I said I've got to sneezed and you carried on with tradition was absolutely flawless.
I mean, come on.
Patrick, what do you say we talk about some of the video games that we played this year?
I would love to do that.
I'm excited to get into this topic with you.
I would love nothing more.
Excellent. Let me, listen, I am a man who plays little of a lot and a lot of little. So I've played quite literally hundreds of games this year. But I want to throw it to you first and see what you have been playing.
Oh, yeah. I at first when we started talking about this as a topic, I was like, oh man, if it's just me and Jake has probably played 75 games this year that didn't come out in 2025. And I haven't played that many because typically, so I use this little app called GG, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, to track the games that I play. And I do little lists. I do that's how I track my favorites of the year. I have like a top 100 in there that I'm always fiddling with. But I was looking through and I was surprised at how few games that I played this year that weren't from 2025. I only have like 8 or 9. Like I've just been there've been so many new releases this year, but there are a few standouts, and I have to start with. Typically, I would save the best for last, but I've been itching to really talk about this game on content, and I know it's a game that you really love. And this is a game that like just happened to hit at the perfect fucking time for me. I started playing this shortly after The Tree, for those that don't know, with my house being destroyed, and it was just in this weird period where Switch 2 wasn't out. It was like just about to come out, and there was like nothing new happening. Expedition 33 had been out for a couple months, and I was finishing that at the time. But there just wasn't a new big thing. So I was just like scrolling and scrolling. What the fuck can I play? I want to do something. And I was on my PlayStation and I came across a little game, Jake, called Dark Cloud. And
Oh,
the hours that I spent on Dark Cloud this year, Jake, what a fucking video game. I remember playing Dark Cloud as a kid, but for lore knowers, I never had a PS2 as a kid. My neighbor had a PS2, but it was my neighbor was a couple of old people and it was their grandson that would come like once every couple months. Like so when he would come over, we would get to play like for a night on the PS2 and then that was it. And so it was a game that I always wanted to play more of because I remember playing it a little bit with him years and years and years ago. But then I just, I never really had the ability to. And then I was just scrolling through the fucking PS Plus library and there it was, level 5, Dark Cloud. And I was
oh,
like, wow, this game is even better than I remember it. It's like it have you played it recently at all? Like in the last couple years, Jake?
no, I played Dark Cloud 2 recently, which
Okay.
I think is an interesting one to talk about because I think that game holds up a little bit better than Dark Cloud 1,
Okay.
mostly visual aesthetic wise, but I haven't touched Dark Cloud in probably 20 years.
Man, it holds up. Like I don't think I've ever played 2 at all, so I don't know what changes from 1 to 2, but the like dungeon crawling mixed with town building of and like the RNG of your like when you find certain elements of the town is such a fun gameplay loop. Like if the Switch hadn't come out, I would have played Dark Cloud for at least another like 3 weeks because I didn't finish it. I got very far in the game, but man, Dark Cloud, they don't make them like they used to, Jake. Simple as that.
Yeah. Let me ask you, do you know how many hours you put into it? If you had to estimate?
I if I were to estimate, I probably put 25 ish, but I can also check in
That's a
my
nice
PS
that's
app.
a nice chunk of time.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. We're not talking about it here. We'll probably I'm assuming you'll probably talk about it on Spotlight this coming week. Where, they spotlight the latest and greatest of video games.
There he is.
Um, but I talked about Dark Cloud today on stream because
Whoa.
I was reviewing and playing some Octopath Traveler 0, product provided by Square Enix.
Yeah, yeah.
And Octopath Traveler 0 takes things and flips it on its head a little bit. It's very different than, not very different, it's a little bit different than Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. It's not Octopath Traveler 3 because of the changes that they make. And one of the big changes is a base building mechanic,
Oh.
something to kind of come home to. Without going into too many spoilers, you basically have to start a town from scratch. And part of the things that you do as you're out there leveling up is you might just find like lumber sitting on the ground or stones, and you'll collect those, bring them back, turn them into people, and then you can upgrade your town and create, the shop or the tavern or whatever, housing district that you want to and whatnot. Very, very cool stuff. And it reminded me a lot of Dark Cloud, and God, I love that function in a game. You like building a home in your video game?
I do. I'm not always in on it. Like I remember like Elder Scrolls, like Oblivion or Skyrim, you can get a house. I never really fucked with that for whatever reason. But I remember, I know you've been streaming a lot of Fable, like the Fable house stuff. I fucked around with
Oh,
hard.
baby.
So
Hmm.
I think it just like depends whether or not, because it's not even like when I think about some of the house building or town building stuff that I've done in games, that it's like objectively this is designed very well and I couldn't care less about it, or the opposite where like this is built like shit but I can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like Fallout 4 is another one where they wanted me to base build so fucking badly, and I couldn't have been less interested for anything in my life than base building in Fallout 4. So yeah, it's hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I think the Bethesda series, the base building to me falls into their jack of all trades, master of none category, where I don't find the yearning to make a place to fall back to. But when I'm given the right option for housing in a video game, I really love buying into it. There's
Yeah.
something that is so nice about. I don't want to play a game like The Sims or a game like Palia where the point is to build the house. I want the house functionality to be fun, but tacked on to other things so that I have a place to kind of go back to and call home.
Interesting.
I think the best example for this, to be quite honest, in my professional experience, is I've streamed Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom twice now.
Yeah.
Once on their Switch 2 release, once on their Switch 1 release. And both times I played those games, there was something really special. Once I got the property, once I got the house, we would go back to the house to end every stream, wrap things up, make some improvements, end the stream, and then the next time we started it up, we're standing there at the house, it's playing the same music. It like anchors the playthrough in such a way. I love it so fucking much.
I feel like I've just been Nelson Mandela'd because Noah C92 in the chat asks, "Did you like the house building in Tears of the Kingdom, Patrick?"
Mm-hmm.
I have put a collective at least 300 to 350 hours in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I have no clue what you're talking about a house builder. I've played
Oh
this game so
my.
like Breath of the Wild. I don't know that I've ever talked about this on content. If I have, stop me. Breath of the Wild has cost me literally more than $10,000 because it gave me an eye problem. I played that game so fucking much. Like it gave me a disorder in my eyes. And
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what you're talking about a house builder. And the chat is like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What is this?
In both
I've
games. In
missed.
both games. Okay, so in the first game in Zelda Breath of the Wild, you have the opportunity when you're in Hateno Village to purchase a home that you can do some minor upgrades to. I think there's like probably a total of like 12 to 18 upgrades. They're all just kind of like tiered. And essentially, as you do that, your house becomes improved and you can store some minor things in there as well, things like weapons and shields and stuff. And it was a pretty big hit, and it involved like a side quest that's a little bit grindy where you had to like supply wood to the builders and stuff. And it was like a side mission that ended up being a lot of people's favorite parts. And they tripled down on this in Tears of the Kingdom. So, did you ever do the Tarrytown missions in Breath of the Wild where
I
you build
did.
that town up?
I did.
Okay.
If I
So,
just pick
if
any of
you
your
liked
random
that,
VODs for Tears of the Kingdom, will I find you building a house?
after like episode 8,
After
probably,
eight.
yeah.
Okay, I'll
Like
go to 9.
you'll probably start and end in
Oh,
those almost
this
every
is.
single time.
Oh, wait.
But it's got to be the modern
I see.
playthrough, the one that was on the last like year,
Oh, this is 2 years
or
ago.
any of them
Okay.
actually. So basically, what you'll have is Terrytown had a similar mission structure where you were sort of sporadically upgrading. This is a perfect segue, by the way, that we're talking about Tears of the Kingdom, because this is a game that I played this year that didn't come out this year for, well, Switch 2, technically.
Well, there you
So this counts, by the way. We're on topic right now, even though we're allowed to be off topic. We can do whatever the fuck we want. No one else can tell me. They essentially combined these two functionalities, and now your house from Hateno in Breath of the Wild and Tarrytown that you built up in Breath of the Wild, you now build a house in Tarrytown in Tears of the Kingdom. There's a big plot of land up at the top that they'll sell to you, and then you can kind of adjust things, make them your own, and customize these like modular pieces of your home to, make a place that you see fit for yourself. And it is absolutely joyous to fucking do. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, I coughed. I pulled up the B-roll. So it's just like this must be your house. It's like a bunch of boxes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am
That's my house.
so fucking shook right now. Again, like I in both games, I did every single little temple or shrine, whatever they're called. I've virtually and I did every single fucking thing in the the underworld. I can't think of any of the words right now. Had no idea you could be building a house. I gotta pick this
That's
fucking
awesome.
game up.
You just also stumbled upon the B-roll shows a classic like opening moment of me being at the house, like, all right, let's get this show on the road.
Oh yeah.
And then I jump off, immediately get speared by a boar and get game over moments into that spot. And it all just showed on stream. That's so funny that you just picked that up.
You really loved Tears of the Kingdom on Switch too, though. Like the upgrades were good.
Really good. It plays the way you ever have one of these situations where a game gets like remastered and it's just like a perfect remaster where it just blends together. It's like, oh, this is just how the game was in my head.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that. It didn't reinvent the wheel. The $10 price point that they charge for it is an apt one. I would never think twice about that. It also is a free upgrade if you have a Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, nice. Did you use the app at all in your playthrough of
the Zelda
tracking
notes?
shit?
No, I didn't get. Initially, when I was playing it, I was like, let's do a 100% shrines run because I never 100%ed all the shrines, which means there's still shrines at large, if you will. That's one of the things I did in Breath of the Wild that wrapped up at the very beginning of the year. Was I went through and I did every single shrine, which I had never done before. So there was like Zelda content in Breath of the Wild that I hadn't enjoyed, which was really fun to kind of uncover. And I fell off my Tears of the Kingdom replay. I want to say, we did like probably 50, 60 hours into that game, but there's still a lot to do, and it just got that busy season pretty fast after the Switch 2 launched, where ran out of time, but it's such an easy one to revisit too. And also, that's my top category of the year of streaming.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Just for like average viewership, for video games.
How about
Crazy.
that? Tears of the Kingdom on the
you should jump
Spotlight
into
Games Top 100, as you learned earlier this week on Spotlight Games.
I did indeed. You should jump into that. That's a great game where even if you have a save file, that will give you something to do that's easy to kind of like, wet your whistle a little bit, get in, dip your toe in the water, see how it's feeling, get in, and then like, it'll give you something to do too. They're like, well, we need like 75 rubies. And you're like, well, I can go fucking ruby hunting. I know how Breath of the Wild works. Tears of the Kingdom works.
Did you ever over there trying to wet my whistle?
I am. I'm just trying to fucking wet my beak, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But I'm so glad you do.
I'll breeze through this one because you're gonna fall asleep. But another one, at the very, very beginning of the year, in fact, I played a game from a few years ago. I don't remember the exact year, but Citizen Sleeper, the first one, in preparation for the second one, because this was, we were about to be launching Drop In, Drop Out at the very, very beginning of the year. We were making moves, staying up till all hours of the morning, working on shit. But I got a code through Spotlight for Citizen Sleeper 2. So I was like, oh, okay. I should play the first one. And so I burned through the first one and really, really loved it. So much so that Citizen Sleeper 2 probably going to land on my top 10 for this year. But it's certainly not a Jake game. But very, very good video game if that is your style of video game. But Coleman's in the chat asks, did you ever play more Banishers, Patrick? I didn't, because I wanted to save it for stream, and then I just haven't still.
I thought you were gonna be funny.
No, I'm a
didn't
nice
because I wanted to play a good game.
No. I actually, so there was a night I streamed Chronos of the New Dawn and had a fucking shit time playing Chronos of the New Dawn on stream. Was so just so frustrated and bored, and so. It was Coal Mine and Cirrus and a few other people, but mostly Coal Mine and Cirrus. They were like, yeah, just pick something else. And Coal Mine's convinced me to pick up Banishers. And we were locked in for like another hour. We played the first hour of that game and had a very good time. And then I just, never got back to it. But.
Yeah, that's Coal Mines is known for having some pretty sketchy takes in the community. As it turns out. So
this is one that I will defend him on. Risky. I will defend him on Banishers Ghost of New Eden.
I believe I just slammed him on Banishers the other day where he brought something up. He was making fun of somebody else's decision for something, and I said, Coal Mines will tell you that that's a bad opinion, and then tell you barbecue sauce is gross and Banishers Ghosts of New Eden is a good game, or something like that.
Yeah.
always feels good.
Because I brought up Chronos, Noah C92 in the chat asks, better 2025 video game pussy, Jesus Christ, Chronos Helmet or Metroid Doors? I do fear Metroid Doors. I played a little bit of Metroid today.
The Metroid Doors.
Oh my god, dude! Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is the most Volvic game I've maybe ever played.
Ooh.
Everything is a vagina in that game. It's fucking crazy. Rose, I was playing in the living room
Oh
earlier,
my
and
god.
Rose walked in, and she was like, "What game is this?" I was like, "Oh, it's called Metroid. It just came out today." She was like, "Why is everything a vagina?" I was like,
It does it.
"It really
It
is."
looks like a scorn, a somber
Oh,
tapestry.
sure. Yeah, it's. Oh. But I'll talk. I'll
It's
share actual
wild.
thoughts other than how vaginal Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is on Saturday.
Yeah, we love this. Drop in, drop out with the fucking content you're looking for.
Dan Good in the chat says,
I've got
I didn't see that, but now I'm playing it and I can't unsee it. How dare you? Yeah, no, the whole rest of the game, you're just
right.
going to see vaginas the whole time.
This is what we're here for. This
Yeah.
is what we do for you. I want to talk about. I have too many of these. Is
Sure.
what I realize that like it's impossible, and some of them are like boring known quantities. Like I could sit here and tell you how good Fable is right now,
Oh,
but I'm
sure.
playing Fable actively, and we already kind of brushed on it. So I'm going to delete Fable from the list, and I'm going to give you a pair of games that I've
Ooh.
recently played through.
Give
Okay,
me a big, beautiful
I
pair.
recently played BBT. That's something. I played Agent Under Fire and Nightfire this year. James
Oh,
Bond 007. And let me tell you, they reawoken something in me. There is something so special about those games. And truthfully, I blame First Light, the 007 game being worked on by IO Interactive.
yeah.
And there's something about it. I think it's that mixed with I went on a kick of I watched the Mission Impossible movies to get hyped for Rogue Leader or whatever the fuck the final movie is, and it disappointed me. So I then went on the path of I didn't ever watch that last Bond flick from the most recent saga. So I watched Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace,
Yeah.
Skyfall, the fourth one, and the fifth one, and
Yeah.
I was like, God, these are so fucking good. So I was in my Bond era, and I decided to jump into Agent Under Fire and Nightfire, which were two of my historical favorite games. Now, don't get me wrong, I played a lot of GoldenEye. I played a lot of like The World Is Not Enough back on the 64 PS1 days, but those are not my special Bond games. Agent Under Fire and Nightfire are.
Sure.
These first person shooters are like the dawn of when first person shooters got really good to me. I feel like they found their footing during that console generation of like Xbox, GameCube, PS2, especially on console. And these games are so fucking fun. They're so funny. They hold up so well. They're such a great modern playthrough. I cannot recommend playing those old Bond games enough, to the point of the docket for upcoming games is now filled with every Bond game that came up. I have Everything or Nothing on its way from eBay. From Russia with Love is fucking happening.
Nice.
Like, I love this shit. And then there's a world of Bond games that I've never played, like 007 Legends as well for like the
Yeah.
PS3,
Yeah.
which is super interesting to me. Really, really fucking fun games. And I didn't even play the multiplayer. I just played the single player stuff, and it was so good, man. It's such a fun romp. It's such a fun campaign to play through. So much mission variety. It's a little janky in some places, but God, dude,
We
great
have to
products.
play Nightfire multiplayer whenever we're
Ooh.
together. Because my brothers
Mm-hmm.
and I played so much Nightfire multiplayer as children. When the very first time I ever saw you go live playing Nightfire, I think is the most upset I've ever been that we don't live in the same place. Because, like, all I want to do is be able to just fucking sit on the couch while Jake plays 007 Nightfire, because I love that game so goddamn much. So I'm excited for this Bond arc, because also, yeah, Noah in the chat saying From Russia with Love in '05 is like the best Bond game. And that was one that I always wanted to play, but I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm so glad that Nightfire holds up, because yeah, I
Yeah.
adored that game. I think I've probably talked about it on content before, but 007 Rogue Agent, GoldenEye Rogue Agent on the
Oh yeah.
Xbox and PS2
Original
probably, but
Xbox,
definitely original
PS2. Yep.
Xbox. Was when I is the sweatiest I've ever been at a video game. At one point, I was ranked like 22nd in the world on that game.
Wow.
Is
I
the
didn't
only
know. See,
time, yeah, I've ever been like ranked at something.
that's the one that I'm really excited to get into, because I do lose my way a little bit. Like, I have never touched From Russia with Love, but I have dabbled in Everything or Nothing, and I played it at a friend's house or rented it maybe for like a weekend and only got a level or two in. And I was like, not my Bond. Like, it's third person. This isn't my. I wanted my sequel to Nightfire. I wanted my sequel to Agent Under Fire, which I found in GoldenEye Rogue Agent, because that goes back to first person. if I recall correctly. So I'm excited to check out those next 3 games specifically, which are,
Yeah.
I think, in order: Everything or Nothing, Rogue Agent, and then From Russia with Love. So we're gonna hit all 3 of those without a doubt.
In the middle of
It's gonna be
you
awesome.
talking about Nightfire, when I just started laughing randomly, I pulled up a VOD of yours, and when I pulled up the VOD, there were like 3 messages in a row that just said "come," and I just
Yeah,
picked
that
a
sounds
random
right.
spot in your like 4th episode of Nightfire, and it was just "come, come, come." It's like, God damn it.
It's I have a Jake bot. It's a stupid little thing that like just spews random messages and will say things like, "Did you get your fist bump?" or "Jake has a merch store," little important things. But then also from time to time he just says like "fuck," "piss," "shit," or "come"
Mhm.
in the chat. And when he says "come," chat loves it, and they all also say the word "come."
Yeah,
It's very good. Twitch.tv/Jake Twitchin. Please join. Um,
I love that.
I'm gonna give you another one because I have too many. I want to rifle through
Yeah, rifle.
another spy. I'll give you a pair. In
Yeah.
fact, these are not really good ones, but let me run through Crackdown for the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
A super soldier. Are you a Crackdown guy?
I'm not a Crackdown guy. I tried Crackdown, and it just never clicked for me.
I get it. Man, actually, I have so many of these that can kind of pair together. But I bought Crackdown back on the Xbox 360 because it was the only way to guarantee your spot into the Halo 3 beta.
Yeah.
If you recall correctly, that Crackdown Xbox. So I spent $50 on my Halo 3 beta that came with a free copy of Crackdown. And let me tell you, what a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Lovely video game. Really fun, just third person, over the top. It's got this mechanic in it where your character increases their ability based on the things that you do in the game. So if you want to drive better, you should drive a bunch. If you would like to shoot better, you should shoot a bunch. If you would like to explode things better, you should explode a bunch of things. And basically, it's the same sort of concept that you'll see in very, very many different games, but it's done to the fucking nines in this game. The way that Crackdown is like an over-the-top super soldier, like you're basically playing as a Captain America, like,
Sure.
where your character will get like insanely overpowered. So when you upgrade your agility, instead of like jumping a little bit higher, by the end of that game you're jumping like 40 feet into the air from skyscraper to skyscraper, and you'll throw a grenade and it'll blow up like a city block and shit. It is just so fucking fun. The other game that I want to talk about that's kind of spy pilled, is Nathan Drake a spy?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay,
Next.
we're dropping it from the list. You're up, buddy.
Great. So a game that I played this year, none of mine are spy games. But this is a game that I had jumped into several times in the past, and I just never stuck around more than like 30 minutes at a time. But this time I actually completed it. Is Bowser's Fury.
Oh.
Really, really liked Bowser's Fury a lot. I don't know what it was about it originally when I kept trying and it just like kept not clicking for me. Because Super Mario 3D World, which is obviously what it's paired with, is a game I like fine. I recognize that it's a very good video game, but I just prefer the 3D run around and do shit. I don't. I'm not as drawn to the 2D or 3D 2D type Mario games. They're good, but just not for me as much. But I fucked hard with Bowser's Fury. Yeah, I agree totally with Noah in the chat. I really hope Bowser's Fury is a good indication as to where the next 3D Mario is going, because it, in a weird way, maybe not weird really, was like the freshest Mario had felt in a long time playing Bowser's Fury, because it obviously is very much like a proof of concept. It's like a 4-hour experience. It's very much like these just little like mini missions within this grander open world. And every like, I don't know, 10 minutes, Bowser just becomes fucking God and starts shooting fire at you the size of a planet. And it's just like a fun, I just really enjoyed finding all the things to do. That was it was around the time that I played Dark Cloud. I was just like desperately trying to find something to escape with, and that was a great escape game, Jake.
Yeah, I love the size of that video game. I know that it's tacked on to a full price thing, but I would love for Nintendo. I just don't know where that exists. I think that is the only place that exists where it's like, hey, we took like that engine and then we put like a partial team on customizing it to make it this thing. But I think Bowser's Fury is a really special game for a lot of different reasons. I think that it's a great way to bridge the gap between the standard 3D Mario games, because I do not, some people like to loop in Mario 3D Land and Mario 3D World with the Mario Galaxy duology, the Mario Sunshines, Mario 64, and
Oh,
Mario
sure.
Odyssey, and I don't think that they belong there. However, I could argue that Bowser's Fury does belong there. Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury does belong in that
I would say
category
so.
more so than it does in 3D World or 3D Land. But also, movement wise, you can definitely tell it's the same engine. You know, like
Hmm.
it is very much that video game, and it plays really, really well. And the same thing, I hope that is an indicator of what's to come, where in a lot of ways, that game is like a combination of what makes 3D World great with its really tight platforming in the whole nine yards, and what makes Odyssey great as well without its necessary like gimmick, because Odyssey has so much leaning on that uh transformation mechanic where you're
Yeah.
becoming different things, which is really fun and all, but this is like bare bones traditional ass Mario,
Yeah.
which is really really cool to see.
This is certainly a hot take, but I think I like Bowser's Fury more than Odyssey, and I think it's to clarify that a little bit, because I'm sure a lot of people will be like, that's a fucking crazy take. The first time I played Odyssey, I adored it from start to finish, but for some reason, Odyssey is a game that I like can't play a second time. I have restarted a playthrough of Odyssey no fewer than 8 times, and I never make it past like 2 hours in. I don't know if it's just that the first 2 hours of Odyssey aren't as fun as the rest of the game. I don't know what it is, but the Cappy gimmick, once I saw it all, for me is just like so dry. And I just
Hmm.
prefer the classic. I just want to be Mario running around. I don't want to become a fucking spring or a fucking dinosaur. And like it's a great game. I just,
Yeah,
for me, it's not a great game to replay. And like I would rather
I
go
think
back and do a whole playthrough of Bowser's Fury again than 3 hours of Odyssey, I think.
I might agree with you if Bowser's Fury was like 3 times the size that it is, but three separated worlds. Like in some ways, I'm like, wow, one Mario game with one single world, one biome that's all connected would be so crazy. And then I'm like, maybe I don't want that. Maybe like three is the magic number. Like
Yeah.
Bowser's Fury times three different separated maps where you have a big expansive location to go through. I love the fact that it's extremely traditional in that you're not banking on those transformations, but I would argue that still the movement in Mario Odyssey is maybe the best a 3D platformer has ever felt. I think Astrobot gives it a run for its money. But one of the things that I really liked on my subsequent playthroughs of Mario Odyssey has been trying to abuse those movement mechanics a little bit more than you're supposed
Mm.
to,
Hmm.
where that's something that I used to do back in the day on like the 64 and Mario Galaxy as well. It was like, how much long jumping can I do to bypass what they want me to do right now? Where like I love in Galaxy, you have those challenge levels where when you jump and twirl, the twirl makes the fucking bottom of the platform move from red to blue. Uh, it actually might exist, or I think it's just like a jump in Bowser's Fury. But I love bypassing that, not doing the twirl, and just long jumping from platform to platform through a gap that I'm not really supposed to make.
Sure.
But god damn, I really love the mechanics in Odyssey where you kind of do like the long jump, you throw your hat, you jump again, you hit your hat and bounce off of
Sure.
it, and then you dive. And like the amount of distance and height that you can gain that way, God, that game is so special. And I have played through it subsequent times. I think I've only rolled credits maybe twice, once on stream, once
Yeah.
off stream before when it came out. And the other thing that I think is missing in a big way that I would challenge you on for Bowser's Fury versus Mario Odyssey. And I agree with you. I think there's some things that Bowser Fury does better, but Mario Odyssey, the production value
Oh, I
when it
mean, the
comes to
production
those
value
fucking
is
cutscenes. I mean, Jump Up Superstar is one of the best segments in video games that's ever
for
been
sure.
created. I also think that we don't talk about it that often, but I would love to do like a fucking man. One thing that I really want to do. I don't want to cannibalize JK Games, video game book club or anything like that, but I would love to have like a deep spoiler cast on a game that's like 10 years old. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
dig in and fucking unpack everything and talk about like the last 20 minutes of fucking Mario Odyssey and how good that game gets and the places that it goes, like with like the whole wedding thing
Oh,
that
for sure.
transpires.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Yeah,
Because also,
they
I
nail
mean,
it with that game.
to clarify, I loved the game the first time through. I mean, there was a time in which that was like a top 15 game of all time for me. But it just, the more I go into it, the more it just keeps dropping down my top 100 list. Because, yeah, I mean, I devoured it in 2017. I fucking adored that game. And yeah, like Jump Up Superstar, really the whole like last third of that video game is so fucking good. I mean, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to just slowly, every couple hours, every few months, just like sludge through what I feel like is the beginning of the game that I just keep not being able to get past in subsequent
Yeah,
playthroughs to get to the later stuff. Because and yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I look
I'm
forward
trying to
to the
think.
day in that I have forgotten so much of Odyssey that it feels like a new game to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The first two levels of Odyssey, I think, are among the weakest levels. Like, I want to say you start off in that, like, the Cap Kingdom, where it's like it's kind of like nighttime, and there's like a
Yep.
bunch of the ghosts are around, which is
Yep.
like a mini level. It's not as big as some of the other ones. Then I think the first, like, full fledged level is the big waterfall one with the T Rex.
With the T-Rex,
Is
and
that
then
correct?
after that, I believe you go to like the jungly one, which I really don't like the jungly
Yeah.
one
Is that the
with the
one where
spring.
you get in the fucking pots with the fucking
Yeah, oh
long
yeah, that's what
extendable
it is. It's not a
legs?
spring. It's that yeah, you get the long leg guy.
Yeah, I would say
That's where
through the
I
bottom half
burn out every time
of
in that
levels.
level. Yeah,
Yep. I get that for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that game sticks its landing for sure.
yeah.
Um, very cool. The last one, I got two more. One I can just fucking touch upon because there's not that much to say about it because I love it so much. Is Are you a fan of the Trials series?
You know, yes, but not in a big way. But I played whatever one was really really big on the 360. I played that one a fuck ton. I don't think it was Fusion. I think Fusion's newer, if I'm not mistaken. But I
Trials HD was the first one. There's Fusion, there's Rising, and
it was
then
probably
there
HD. I think it was
is.
Trials HD. I played
Mhm.
so much of that game on the 360, but I've not really touched them much since then.
Really fun. If you've never heard of these games, super easy recommendation. They're on all platforms at this point. They're Ubisoft Red Links, I think, developed them. And they are essentially, if I say this term out loud, two words, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This game is tilty bikes.
Yeah,
When you be
Tilty
tilting
Bikes.
your bike.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really, really fun, like physics-based platformer, essentially. And then the last game that I played this year that really stuck with me, and this is one of those ones where it'll seem a little bit like a given, but I played Halo 3 ODST start to finish. What
Whoa.
a fucking magical video game that is. It is so interesting to see Bungie at what I would call like the top of their powers, doing quite a bit of work with environmental storytelling and doing things that were so ordinary for the Halo campaign. Because I mean, Halo campaigns had good stuff going on. Like New Mombasa towards the end of like Halo 2 with the fucking sky on fire was really dope shit. And Halo 3 has its highs as well. But Halo 3 ODST is just fucking insane. And much like Bowser's Fury, I would argue, doesn't overstay its welcome. It was a tight
Mm.
5 hour experience that was just so fucking good and so much better than I even remembered it, because I remembered parts of it. I was like, oh yeah, dude, there's like neon lighting and it's kind of like dark the entire time, but they're playing this crazy fucking like inspired jazz music. You're finding voice logs. They tell the story in a non-linear fashion where basically you are going through like the rubble of a city that's been recently destroyed and uncovering what happened to this squad while trying to gather the remaining members of it. And every time you find like your homie's helmet buried in the fucking wall, you then transport back and you do the mission that led to that homie's untimely demise. um Fucking insane. And the ending also, like the last hour of that game is so fucking weird and funny. Spoilers for Halo 3 ODST, minor spoilers. Um, do you remember like the hook? You're looking for a thing the entire time, and do you remember what you find at the end of that game?
I think I've maybe not played Halo 3 ODST.
Oh my
I
god!
think
Please just stream it.
I could, because like I'm scrolling through a a complete playthrough right now, and like the tank, I'm what, an hour 20 in. The giant tank through a city does feel kind of like it's ringing a bell, but I feel like there's also a scene very similar to this in Reach where you're the big tank going
In
through a
all
city.
4 Halo games. Yeah, for sure.
So maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe I never played 3 ODST.
Dude, you should absolutely play it. It does some really, really cool shit that you are not expecting, and I won't, in fact, spoil the ending. Oh, you already
Okay.
spoiled it. Cool. You find you find a fucking. It's the do you know who the prophets are
Oh yeah,
in
for sure.
Halo? Those little freakos. You find one of those guys, and they are like a alien encyclopedia of information. You have to like escort it out of its captivity into safety, and it's such a funny fucking hook because you got this weird little nasty alien floating around and you're trying to fucking
That's
protect
funny.
it. It's so funny. And then Sergeant Johnson pops up in that last hour as well, and he's boots on the ground. It's just really, really good shit, and it's a brand new cast of characters that in the 5 hours you learn. It definitely feels in a lot of ways like Halo Reach Light, and you can see how this team, like, I feel like there is like a really interesting almost like trilogy of behind the scenes stuff going on where they do Halo 3 ODST into Halo Reach into Destiny, and you can see that evolution between those fucking 3 games where it was like there's a Halo. In my head, a lot of the things that happened in Halo 3 ODST were very, very much in my head canon a part of Reach. Like, this is the thing that Halo Reach introduced. This is what made me feel about those characters, and to the point of I think that I might like ODST more than I like Reach. And Reach has a good standalone single player campaign, but man, Halo 3 ODST banger, and again doesn't overstay its welcome. Cool romp even today, especially in like the graphical upgraded package that just upreses textures and whatnot
Sure.
on like the Series X the way that I played it.
When ODST launched, was it like a full ass title? Like, did it have multiplayer too, or was it just a campaign? Do you remember?
Excellent question. Yeah, do I remember, dude? I lived this shit. Halo 3 might be the game that I have the most hours in ever. The way that Halo 3 ODST launched was it was kind of like an expand-alone title where
Got it.
so Halo 3 campaign came out and Halo
Which
3
I
had
loved.
individual purchase map packs where you could had the base game, then the first map pack and the second map pack. When Halo 3 ODST came out, it came out on a 2-disc set where it was the Halo 3 ODST campaign on the first disc single player, which included the new like firefight mode as well, which was cool, which is like their horde mode at the time. The second disc was multiplayer, and it was the entire Halo 3 suite of multiplayer
All the map
plus
packs and
I
stuff.
believe the final map pack essentially. So it was like the Halo 3 complete edition of multiplayer, to the point of like I feel like a lot of modern gamers probably ditched their Halo 3 disc at one point, and Halo 3 ODST was the way that you played Halo 3 online for the remainder of
Yeah.
its time.
Maybe I did play it and I have just deleted it from my memory because the multi-disc one's the game, one's the multiplayer map pack feels really familiar to me. Unless they did that
Yeah.
another time.
Yep.
But guess I got to play
Really good shit,
ODST.
man.
Guess I got to.
Oh, I can't recommend it enough. Also, Halo 3 ODST, very good co-op campaign game. If there was ever an opportunity for like 4 people to hop on the sticks and just romp through a
Okay.
5-hour campaign like overnight or something like that,
Okay.
banger. Absolute banger.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, Halo 3, I remember a very fond memory I have of Halo 3 is whenever that came out. I was in high school, or I might have even. Do you remember the year Halo 3 came out?
Halo 3 came out in 2007.
So either I depending on the month, I was either middle school or high school. And I remember,
Like holiday season.
yeah. So then I probably was in high
September
school.
12th. My guess is September 12th, 2000 fucking 7. I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, because if I graduated 2010, so the 7 I would have been in high school.
September 25th.
And wow, how about that? I remember my brothers and I, we woke up the morning that Halo 3 was released, and it was sitting on our mantle in the living room. And
Oh,
my mom was like, you guys can stay home. And we just stayed home from school and played Halo 3
Oh,
all fucking day. It was the best.
W mom, that's a
Yeah.
fucking banger.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
she would be the real homie several times. Like she would check us out to go see all the Lord of the Rings movies. Also because it was like they came out in December, so it was like end of the year. And but yeah, there were several
yeah.
times that she'd be like, she got it that like it was better to make cool fucking memories than go learn about fucking 2+2 or whatever the fuck bullshit ass math.
Right. I think it was always the twos multipliers.
Exactly.
My dad dismissed me from school. I got a call to come to the office, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" The year was 1999, and I was like, "No, what the fuck is happening? I got a special night plan tonight." No, I had a special afternoon plan with my dad to go see the fucking Phantom Menace in theaters.
Nice.
Banger,
Duel of the
banger.
Fates with Papa.
Yeah,
With Papa Twitcher.
yeah, exactly.
Love
You
that.
got it. Wild times.
Honestly, not much else on my list. Like I played Indiana Jones at the very, very beginning of the year.
Sure.
But I was a lot lower on Indiana Jones than a lot of people. Like from where I stand, it being nominated for as much as being nominated for feels kind of crazy to me. But like you said it on a podcast. I don't remember if it was ours or a stream or whatever. Like the bad guy not getting nominated felt a
Oh,
little
my
crazy.
fucking god.
He
Crazy
was great.
snub. It was ours.
It was ours, okay.
Emmerich
And then
Voss.
Emmerich Voss. And then I have this save file of Persona 5 Royal that I just like really slowly worked through on my Steam Deck because I played Persona 5 when it first came out, and then I never played Royal. And which can we say there is no E? It can't be Royale. And so many people say Persona 5 Royale, and I feel like I'm crazy every time people do it.
No, that's ignorance.
Yeah, ignorance sometimes is bliss. So I've dabbled in that throughout the year, and then of course we've gotten some more backyard sports games. We got football, we got another baseball, we got basketball. Of course, you being featured in backyard basketball.
Well, of course, what was my name?
Your nickname was Mittens, and it was Jake Cummin Mittens. That's what it was.
Jake Cummin Mittens. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then I talked about this on content earlier this year, but Death Stranding 1 finally clicked for me this year on the lead up to Death Stranding 2.
That's right.
But I talked ad nauseum about that already.
Yeah, I thought about adding. I didn't know what the format would be, and truth be told, like it's a very tough thing for me to reconcile is what to do with games like Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 this year.
Sure.
But I was like, I'm not going to bring them up here. I'd rather have that conversation on our GOTY conversation about how, like, because I think what's going to happen is, like, low key, Metal Gear Solid 3 might be the best video game I played this year, bar none. You know, like,
Sure.
It doesn't matter when it came out or how you qualify it. It just might be the most enjoyable video game first experience that I had. However, it is 90% a game that came out in 2003, you know? And that being the case, like, right now, I think I have it sitting at like my 7th favorite game of 2025, the remaster, with basically like it's dropped 6 places to 7th place instead of 1st place because I'm experiencing it for the first time and I need to add that asterisk in there. So it becomes hard to kind of like qualify where the fuck that should be on my list, even though I loved it so fucking much.
I don't think this has to be the rule, but in my mind, if it's like, but no, I've already broken this rule because Resident Evil 4 Remake was in my top 5 that year. But like for me, I was going to say I have it outside my top 10 right now. And I have like Oblivion outside my top 10, but also Oblivion was a shitty remaster, whatever. I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater at number 23 right now. But it's the kind of thing where it's like, if I take a step back and I just think about how good that or Metal Gear Solid 3 is, like they're top 10 games. It just, for me, I usually try to kind of, unless it's something like, but also I guess a difference though with Resident Evil is that Resident Evil 4 had a lot of new shit in it, and it felt, well, I was gonna say it felt totally different, but Metal Gear Solid 3 feels totally different as well. So that argument kind of falls apart. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just like a when you like you know
tough.
it when you feel it type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on how much of a remake it is. Like, I would argue that I would argue that Resident Evil 4 is a significantly more involved remake than Metal Gear Solid 3. But then you have like weird ones like Tony Hawk's 3 plus 4, where there's so much that has changed with 4. There is straight up additional content with like 4 brand new levels, new sections. There's so much new happening in that game that, yeah, it's tough to have a blanket statement on this, and this will
For
never
sure.
get easier, and it will always be an issue going forward. We'll always have this weird conversation about where it should leave. But
Yeah.
um, you know what? That's part of the world we live in. Sometimes you have to throw your own award show, and maybe, much like the Non-ies that we're about to get into, the non-gaming awards of the year, maybe we need like a best remasters games like show every fucking year or something like
Sure.
that. Like
Or at
where
least a
does all this stuff
category.
land? Uh,
Maybe we
write
write
that
that
down for
down.
something.
Maybe I pull over really fast into write that down and type
uh,
remaster slash remakes. Where is that fucking
Right,
channel?
right. Now, listen, Patrick, let's be here all night. Let's talk about
Yeah.
everything there is to know. Here's the thing. I want to talk about the other pillars of media that are
Oh wait,
less
hold
often
on.
explored.
Let me totally kill
Sure.
your vibe for a second.
No,
Kill
I
your
love it
perfect
when
transition.
you're, yeah.
To bring in the audience, we had asked in the Discord
Oh my God. Please.
for their suggestions for the non-ies, and
You
so
love
let's
our
go through the
audience.
gaming ones before we move to non-gaming, the non-gaming
I
non-e
love that.
awards. Cog, our very own, wrote in the Discord under the games
Sea of
category.
Stars.
Actually, no, but he did write Citizen Sleeper
Oh,
after wrapping up this year's sequel, and
okay.
that was another excellent ride. We also have Gianni in the chat right now as well. Says, for games, I gotta give love to Indica, which was a 70% complete recommendation. Brain melting set pieces with super fascinating themes around faith and morality. It's also equal parts hilarious and horrifying, which he loved. Cole Mines in the chat says, for games, I dipped my toes into the Life is Strange franchise, and man, what an experience each of those games are, except two, blah game. Also played Dragon Age The Veil Garden. Holy shit, people must really hate woke shit because this game was amazing. Thank you very much. My game of the year last year. Dropped
Banger.
66 hours in it, and I want to do a second playthrough already. Game banger fucking video game. Our very own Kayla says, I replayed Titanfall 2 with Jericho for the first time in forever and solidified it as a top
Right.
of all time. And then Jackal194 said they played
Ooh.
Limbo for the first time this year. What an amazing game. Totally lived up to the hype. Limbo, that is a great fucking video game.
Limbo and Inside never clicked for me. I have never been more than like an hour into them.
Really?
Yep.
That's
I think
actually
I
pretty
watched
surprising to me.
I'm pretty sure I watched like a potential spoilers for these games. At one point, did you turn into like a mass of limbs in one
That's
of
the
those
very end of
games?
Inside, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I've watched, I think, like a summary of that or a video essay on that. I
Gotcha.
think at one
Man,
point or another,
Inside's so
and been like,
fucking good. I'm surprised that that never clicked for you.
yeah, nothing, not on my radar apparently. But what can you do?
Noah in the chat says, one, he's not writing anything else down for these motherfuckers and being called a troll beating his club on the ground. But then also says, No Man's Sky would be his for this year. Yeah, I put hundreds of hours into the game this year and it completely fucking captivated my imagination. I did buy it on something, Switch 2 maybe, because it was really cheap earlier in the year for like $20. So I do plan on going to it at some point, but I haven't yet.
Do we skip heroic headgears? Go find it. You go find it.
Did I?
I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit real quick and ask, do you have any surprises coming? Here's the thing that's not a surprise, and I keep saying this. I keep saying that the funniest bit that I could possibly have for our game of the year conversations is to secretly play Expedition 33, it be my game of the year, and then
Sure.
show up and glaze the fuck out of it, which is
Sure.
very funny. But do you have any surprises currently on your GOTY list that like you haven't talked about much on content that's going to pop up? Like I have one that I'll disclose right now that I feel like, the other cast members will never listen to this. They'll never hear what I'm about to say.
Sure.
But I'll tell you right now that like right now, my like fourth favorite game of the year is Trails in the Sky first chapter.
Whoa.
And
I really need
I
to
don't
play
think I've
that.
ever even said that fucking name on Drop In Drop Out before.
I don't think you
And I
have.
love this game.
I do have a surprise, but it's not that surprising. It's only surprising because I've already talked shit about it because it wasn't clicking for me. But I have kind of secretly been like deeply obsessed with Ghost of Yotei for the last like 2 weeks. I've just not had a chance to talk about it. It finally clicked for me in a really big way, and it's it's tiptoeing its way to my top 5. I'm having such a fucking good time with Ghost of Yotei finally. It took me a bit too long, which is why I think it might not crack the 5. It might just stick at number 6.
Sure.
Because I don't
You
know if
know,
it was the game's
I
fault or
bet
my fault, but
I bet you're just kind of reaching that point of like Yotei is so Assassin's Creed pilled. And one of the games I didn't talk about here because I just had a poor experience with it was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag
oh
this
yeah.
year, where I was in a love affair with that game from like streams 3 through 10
This is news
of
to me.
Black
You had a
Flag.
bad experience?
Oh, I live deleted Black Flag
What
about a week ago.
happened?
I think it was a bugged quest, and instead of trying to find like a solution and Google it or just like restart the game, I just freaked out and deleted it after an hour of like not getting it. It just ended up in this weird situation where like I picked up this quest to knock out like 100% completion on one of the ports that I had just captured, and it was a naval mission that involved sinking 3 of a certain type of ship, but it put me into the water on my ship looking for these ships, could not find these fucking ships, searched around forever, and I was like, okay, fuck it, let me abandon this quest. No, there's no way to abandon this quest. I go, okay, fuck it, I'll keep the quest and I'll go do whatever. Let me just fast travel out of here and go do my other shit. No, you cannot fast travel during a fucking naval mission. So I am stuck on the high seas looking for 3 ships that don't fucking seem to exist, just going crazy, beating my goddamn head
That's
into
bad.
a wall. And
That's
I was
really
really
bad.
fucking patty. Yeah, it was like a weird soft lock where like technically I guess I could have carried on, but can you imagine doing Assassin's Creed with no fast travel?
Oh my god, no, absolutely not. That'd be fucking
Yeah.
terrible, especially
Insane.
when by 4. Because with 4, that's when they really started getting fucking big. I've had
Big.
such a draw lately. Because also, actually, I'm having 2 thoughts at once. I'm gonna get through them both right now.
Please give me both of them.
Crazy behavior for you to start playing Black Flag when we know very loudly that there's a remake very imminent. Fucking wild behavior.
I loved the timing because it's like this is like the last. I'm gonna be one of the last people that ever got to experience Black Flag without the influence of its successor, its remake existing. You know, the last pure form experience.
Sure.
You know,
I'm glad that you're going to be the last pure experience of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag of you soft delete or getting soft locked out of a quest.
I played 20 hours.
Hey, well. But then also, I've been having such a fucking pull lately to replay Assassin's Creed 2. Specifically, I just want to uncover and slowly get the reveal of Adam and Eve. That like you get like
so
2
fucking
seconds
good.
throughout the whole game. It's like I just want it so bad. I was talking to somebody who is like not in our world at all, like they don't know video games at all, and I was talking to them about. I was like, "Have you ever heard of like a franchise called Assassin's Creed?" They're like, yeah, wasn't there like a movie? I was like, yeah, the movie was fucking terrible, but like, do you know anything about it? And they're like, I mean, like I know it's like old, like Renaissance-y maybe, or like something like that. And I was like, what if I told you you killed the Pope in that game? And they're like, huh? And I was like, okay, so let me break down Assassin's Creed for you. And they were like so fucking locked in. They were like, and
Dude.
especially because I'm in the silent minority that the modern day shit, especially in those first few games, is the best part of that fucking story. When I was talking about all the like Desmond stuff, they were like, "This is fucking crazy. This sounds so fucking cool." I was like, "Yeah," and then they just fucking abandoned it, and it became all fucking bullshit. But
Yeah. By the time you get into the real world stuff in 4, it's a fucking mess. But I just messaged you on Discord a thumbnail because I literally said my fucking Assassin's Creed itch is yet to be scratched. I am
Yeah.
in on Assassin's Creed 2 in the next
Hell
like
yeah.
10 days. Jump in with me. Let's spoiler cast that fucker.
Yeah,
Because that
for
shit
sure.
goes
I can do that.
absolutely crazy. It goes crazy. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Great fucking
it's such a great fucking game. I love Ezio. Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Oh, very good.
Requiescat in pace. How about that?
I dabbled in Magic cards this year for the first time, and
So
I
you're
was
like a real
going back. Yeah. The Assassin's Creed has its own set. Did you know this?
I didn't, but I could have assumed.
Okay.
Just because everybody's
let
doing
me
it.
tell
Now.
you.
A lot of the gaming franchises are doing it.
sure. This was a pretty early one. This one's like from a couple years ago now. But I love the fact that there's an Assassin's Creed set and you can just get a Leonardo da Vinci card because like there's very few like real people in Magic the Gathering. Like you're playing against like the Sorcerer of Pain and shit. But if you do it right, you could just slap down Leonardo da Vinci and fucking play him against that person in Magic via the Assassin's Creed set, which is so fucking good to me.
No,
I love it so much.
I call you a virgin, but there will be a day in my future, I don't know if it's near, I don't know if it's far, that I will become sickly addicted to Magic. I know it's a matter of time. I learned the game in college, so I have like a basic understanding of it. But I mean, college was a fucking more than a decade ago for me, so I don't.
I'm not
much.
playing Magic really right now. I have an idea of how to play it, and I have some history with like the online version of it to sort of get my feet wet here. But the thing that I'm a sucker for is I have like the collector's bug. It's a gene that I was built with where like I can't just go and get the Leonardo figure. I need Donatello and I need Michelangelo and I need Raphael and I need all four of them to sit on the shelf, and they have to be from the same set and they have to be of the same quality. And like I am like one step away. There was just like my parents just smoked one less cigarette than they should have for me to get into pop figures. You know what I mean? If my mom would have had one more cigarette, I would have a fucking wall of Funko Pops behind me.
Instead, you just have Daniel Plainview Luigi next to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Fucking Sonic with a sexual hole. I think for me, I have this thing with like continuity. I love sets that are the same. So
I can't just stop at Sonic with a
sexual hole. Sure, hold. For some reason, this Sonic Squishmallow has
he's a Squishmallow. Okay.
If you look, Sonic he's got kind of he's got like a
crease.
Pussy, right?
Yeah,
crease.
for sure. I wonder
which happens.
I have a Pikachu somewhere, and a Fifi.
Does he also have a sexual?
I think Pikachu might have a sexual crease.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'll have to look, and maybe do something. The thing
that Magic got me on is I love the convergence of IP under one single umbrella. That is a clean way to collect those things. It's why Fortnite has me by the balls, because I want those characters and to be able to sync in and out of that IP. Because it speaks to me. It's cool that I can play as Daft Punk or Beatrix Kiddo or the Blue Ranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Magic having all of those cards in the same umbrella makes me want to own the things that I like. Like, it's cool that I can have Ryu and Blanca in the same set as Ezio and Connor, and the same set as Sonic and Shadow, and the same set as, Cloud and Tidus. Like, that's just fucking rad to me.
I was going through our clips recently that people have made or that we have made on our Twitch account. And for the night that we played Fortnite, and there was a clip of you going through all of your different skins that you have, and you go off for about 30 seconds, and then the clip ends with me just going, Jake, are you fucking poor? Because of how many of these skins you fucking bought. Very funny.
So fucking funny. It's very good shit.
Noah
in
the chat.
We get to the Non-ies?
But I think actually two things. First this, and then something AOC. He asked about the Non-ies, so we need to remind people what the Non-ies are in case they came in late. But Noah says Patrick's saying his Pikachu is somewhere, like it's not hanging from a chain in his closet with a plastic bag on its head. Maybe
it's a. Ooh, who plays Bill in Kill Bill?
David
Carradine.
Yeah, it's a David Carradine like, yeah.
It's a Carradine like.
Yeah.
No doubt. Exactly. Autoerotic asphyxiation. Very good. Speaking of movies, the Non-ies are the non-gaming awards from Drop In, Drop Out. And as you can see, we have offered the opportunity to talk about this subject with the entire cast of Drop In, Drop Out. And each one of them said, we don't want to do that. You, Patrick, and you, Jacob, control the best of Drop In, Drop Out's non-gaming categories this year. So we took it upon ourselves to open this up for a conversation about the best music, movies, TV shows of the year, and not books, because we don't fucking read, dude.
Yeah,
we have to
I'm
read
a
chat,
liberal.
which is like reading the worst book of all time every night.
Every
You
night,
know?
all night.
Or gonna sit here and fucking read more? I don't
Yeah.
think so. So Patrick, I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you
Oh,
a
yeah.
question here. What would you like to start with out of our three categories? Would you like to talk about our favorite music of the year, our favorite movies of the year, or our favorite TV shows of the year first?
Well, I have the least to say about, I think, movies from a just number of standpoint. I realized this year most of the movies I watched this year weren't from this year. Like
Mhm.
e.g. example given, last night I watched Jingle
Perfect.
All the Way starring one Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger. What a fucking flick that is.
Wow.
However,
Very
for
good.
anyone that hasn't seen Jingle All the Way recently, boy, does that movie have some capital R racism in it. Oh my
Right.
God. Some of the joke they make in that
Yeah.
movie, I was like, how did they even get away with this in 1996? But yeah, I only have a few like new movies that I watched from this year. And then second to that, I would say I have the second least potentially to say about music, but that's just because I'm weird and I don't listen to a ton of music. I listen to a fine amount of music, but I'm not music pilled, as some people might say.
Hmm.
So I don't. Very rarely am I like looking forward to an album coming out. It's like one comes out, and usually I hear about it from Rose. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. Now
Sure.
TV though, boy, do I have some things to say about TV. I watch too much fucking TV. So I say we either start with movies or music.
I would love to follow the trajectory that you brought everything up in, because I am at the exact same point as far as my involvement with each of those themes, with each of those forms of media.
Hell yeah.
So let's go movies, which I have the least to say about, music, which I can carry on about for a decent amount of time,
Yeah.
and then TV shows, which we will have to cut off because we will be here until 4 a.m. if I talk about how much I
Correct.
watched this year.
That's correct.
We'd love to see it.
If I remember correctly, I've only watched 3 new movies in 2025. Very small
Interesting.
number.
I'm going to pull mine up.
And there are a few that I really want to see. I really want to see One Battle After Another. Haven't gotten around to it yet, but I really, really want to see it.
Sure.
I want to see 28 Years Later. There are a few other ones that I just can't think of right now. Off the top
The
of my head.
fucking Bone Doctor, dude. What's the subtitle of that? That shit seems so dumb.
The Bone
Bone
Doctor?
Collector.
Oh, the Bone Collector.
The Bone Collector.
There's a new Bone
Yeah,
Collector
that's
movie.
the name. There's like they shot 28 days later, 28 years later, back to back. There's 2 movies, so it's the movies
I had
3
no idea.
and 4.
Bone Temple, they're
And
saying in the chat.
Bone Temple. That's my bad. I've never seen it. You'll never believe this, but somehow.
But I'll just go in order of in which I watched them. So I'll start with K-pop Demon Hunters, which I watched when it very first dropped, which I really liked. I didn't expect it to become the phenomenon that it has. I figured it would get big, but man, I didn't expect it to be at the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There we go. Got it the second time.
Right.
But I really liked it. Did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
No, I didn't. But I've been told after making fun of it that I shouldn't make fun of it because it's actually very rad.
It's pretty fucking great. Music's good, animation's great, tells a fun little story, fun little romp. But then of course, like now all the children are obsessed with it, so I gotta just hear kids that don't even know how to stay on fucking tempo trying to sing this song, and it's horrible. The
Noah
joy of
says
children
Jake
brings
looks like
me.
a guy. Jake looks like a guy who has definitely watched it, so that surprises me.
That's very funny. Fucking got him. They must have been all over Fortnite, right? At this point, they had to have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Like one of the things that Fortnite I think is sometimes weak at, they figured out really well this year, and that is fast turnarounds on popular things from other IPs, where it always boggled my mind that we went all of 2024 without, more on her soon, Charlie XCX being in Fortnite in any way. Like you couldn't get Apple, you couldn't do the fucking dance, you couldn't get the
Mm.
soundtrack, there's no skin. And I'm like, how do we miss that? And K-pop Demon Hunters, I think, had a really fast turnaround where I want to say that movie came out in like February or March of this year, maybe.
I think it was later than that.
No, I think it's later,
I think it
but
was
it
summer.
was like within 3 months, I want to say, they had that shit in Fortnite in a big way, like all the stuff that you would want, and also on the map, and also
Nice.
weapons that coordinated with it. It's really good,
Did you
really
hear the
impressive.
story about like the demon hunters, the K-pop demon hunters being pitched to, I believe it was Sony, and they were like, I don't think so. And then they go to Netflix, and
No,
Netflix is like, yeah, we'll take it. And then it become the biggest fucking thing in the world. And I'm sure Sony's just like,
yeah,
oh, we're fucking idiots.
that's a tough look. I wonder. I don't know what the rights look like behind the scene, but that's a massive miss for Sony, who is so multimedia pilled, where they
Yeah.
have like a full record label in the whole 9 yards. Where
Hmm.
like that is a franchise that will be a video game, fucking music stars, movie stars. There'll be a
Oh yeah.
TV show. That's going to be everything. And now Netflix has the whole piece of the pie there. Good for them.
I'm sure Netflix is paying an unreasonable amount of money
Yeah,
to get a second movie of that.
for
I'm
sure.
sure.
I'm gonna try to follow you and do sequential like release order of these, and I think this one is before yours. But I watched Thunderbolts this year.
Oh, I did watch Thunderbolts. I forgot about Thunderbolts. I was not very high
Yeah,
on
I wasn't
Thunderbolts.
on my list, but because you brought that up, I threw it. I opened up my letterbox to see, and honestly, this is a shameful. I've watched a lot of things this year, a lot of things that didn't come out this year.
Yeah.
For new releases, I've only watched, it appears to be 5 fucking movies apparently. Um, so Thunderbolts, which I thought was fine, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars apparently. Which, maybe I didn't think it was fine.
No, I don't think so.
I remember
Hey,
thinking
it
that
was fine.
game has like that movie has like no third act, like or it skips like its second act or something. I felt like that movie was over before it began.
Yeah,
Very odd.
for me, I also, I don't know. I feel like Marvel is just so stuck trying to figure out the way forward. And I think they really thought Thunderbolts was it. And it just didn't resonate
It's
with me very much.
so I will say that it's been a pretty supremely weak couple of years for Marvel, and I think between Thunderbolts and was hit Fantastic Four at the same time, because I also watched that. Did you see
Oh,
that?
sure. I know. I forgot. Not I forgot.
Um,
I tried and I never did. And I still want to, but now I don't have Disney Plus anymore.
that's sitting at 2.5 stars for me, and I think that these are two better efforts, just based on like turning my brain off and seeing some new characters that I'm kind of bought in on, and some old characters that I've historically been bought in on. It was a better year for Marvel than probably the 2 years prior, I would say, just between those two movies. But again, like I said, 2 out of 5 and 2.5 out of 5 stars for me. So not like red hot on them or anything, but generally more enjoyable. I watched both of these movies on planes.
Got it.
Great
Sure.
place in which to watch them.
Oh, for
Great.
sure.
I miss a scene because I take one of the fucking cups off of my ears and I say Pepsi whole can. I go like this. I have my hands up as if to no. Can I get a Pepsi? I want like that, not like this. Pepsi, 2 hands.
Two hands
Exactly. You
Pepsi.
understand.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. And I also saw Superman, which maybe is what you're about to say.
That is what I'm about to say. That I gave 3 stars. I really liked Superman, man.
Your ranking is interesting that you really like Superman, but it's only 3 stars.
I find a
A
five
6 out of
star
10.
review scale makes me think that's no. See, a 5 star review is not a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
A 3 star out of 5 review is not a 6 out of 10 to me. I understand they translate to the same thing numerically, and on OpenCritic, that's how it'll be ranked. But
Yeah.
I feel like when you only have 10 points in which to fucking deal with instead of 20, if you're giving like 0.5s, it's okay to have a little bit more grace. Like that's 3 is a passable film. 2 is a passable film to me. When you get into that 1.5, it starts to get rough.
2 is not a passable film to me. I think 2 is a bad movie in the way I think about a 5 star review.
Man, I just have trouble. Like, what do I do then? Like, I can't give a complete unknown and the killer and Iron Claw 4 stars and then turn around and give 3.5 to Thunderbolts. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking can't. Like, I fucking won't. You know?
That's I don't know what to tell you.
Uh, I don't know.
Here's okay. Part of me, my thinking also is part of my job. Like I not to go too deep into what I actually do for a living, but reviews are a part of it in a marketing sense, and our review scores like mean things where a five, like a 4 and a 5 are positive, a 2 and a 3. Well, actually, just a 3 is neutral, and then a 1 and a 2 is bad. So in that way, for me, a 2 is always bad. I think partially because of my job, but also
I think
if it's
of
less than half of what the scale is, it can't be good. It's got to be bad.
I know it maybe it harkens back to like I feel like some review scales are way too like I am of the camp of like when games come out and they get sevens, this is where it all like comes from. People are like, "Oh, bad game, huh?" And it's the same
Mm,
skewed look at things where it's like, "No, dude, seven like a 7 out of fucking 10 is a banger score. Like you made a product that a lot of people are gonna love that has its
yeah, for
flaws, and
sure.
that's fine." And it reminds me of like working retail or like if you ever worked like the service industry whenever anybody like highlights or circles the thing on your receipt, they're like, "Yeah, we got a survey at the moment." You're looking at your NPS score, your net promoter score is what they call it. And if
0 to 10.
if you give a 9 or a fucking 10, then you are a promoter of that brand. If you give a fucking 8, you might as well have just shit in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking crazy. And I
Well,
don't think
an
that's
8
how the
isn't a
world should be.
detractor, and neither is a 7. 6 and below, they're detractors.
Fucking
They are going
not
to
gonna talk
actively
about
tell. Yeah.
goddamn detractors. A 6 is not a fucking detractor. A 6 is a top half experience, which should be valued in 2025, the year of our Lord. But that's not here. That's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about
That's so
fucking
funny.
movies. We've now talked about 3 of the 5 movies that I've seen. Where are you at for the movies that you've seen now?
So I forgot about Thunderbolts and Superman, but I really liked Superman a lot.
Oh
I
yeah,
should have put
Superman
that
good.
on my list. I really like, for the first time in like forever, I like potentially where DC is going a lot more than Marvel, which is crazy to me because it's just not been the case like almost my whole life. I guess since I was like
Hmm.
8 and the movies were just Batman, with Michael Keaton specifically. But I like Superman a lot. I thought the chemistry of Corn Sweat and Brosnahan was fucking electric. I can't wait to see them do more shit
Electric.
together. I love Richard Brosnahan
Yep.
though. If you've never watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, fucking incredible in that show. But then so next on the list for me chronologically
Wait, I
would
want to talk
be,
more about it.
oh yeah, sure.
You know who Beck Bennett is?
I do know who Beck Bennett is. Went to
I
college with him.
love Beck Bennett. Oh, classic. Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney are two of my favorite like SNL players, the Good Neighbor guys from way back in the day on YouTube and whatnot.
Mhm.
And he has he plays Steve Lombard, who's a fucking
Yeah.
classic Superman like supporting character at the Daily Planet, and spends way more fucking time on screen than I thought he would, and for the better. I really love that fucking
Yeah.
dude.
I
Great to see him in there.
I was texting with him and he said that he should have been in the movie more, but they cut some of his scenes, which I thought was crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um,
I bet I could get him on the
I
podcast.
You think so?
Yeah, probably. We don't talk
Let's see.
often, but
The other guy that I like is I forget his last name. It's like Skylar something, but he plays the oldest kid in Righteous Gemstones.
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
done
He's
that?
great.
And I'm seeing him pop up in more and more stuff. He's getting cast as a bunch of shit. You know what he just got cast as? I believe this is correct. Let me bring up his fucking thing. I think he just got Sondo. I'm sure I just butchered that. Yes, I think he just got cast in fucking Shrek. Yes,
Oh
he did.
shit.
Yes, he's playing one of Shrek's other kids
That's great.
besides
He's great. He's such a good actor.
Zendaya. Yeah, so he has 3 kids now. Shrek. It's Zendaya, Skylar, and then Marcelo Hernandez from SNL,
Oh, nice.
who's one of the big like main players, one of the more recognizable faces from the last few
Yeah,
years
yeah.
of that. Very
Didn't
good
go to
shit.
college with Marcelo.
That's okay.
I don't text with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Understandable. What else you got for me?
So next on my list is I've thought about this a lot this year. And as I've been on this podcast, this very Twitch channel, this very YouTube channel before and said I'm a little recency bias slut, Jake. I love a new thing, and I love saying that a new thing is my favorite thing of all time. But I think Sinners might be my favorite movie ever made.
Okay, yeah.
I fucking love Sinners so much, and I have watched it a second time. and I took several months to watch it a second time. But Sinners did the very, very rare thing where it was so overhyped already. And I walked into the theater thinking, there's no way this is going to be as good as everybody is saying this is. I had heard from so many people that Sinners is fucking unbelievable, incredible, blah, blah, blah. And I walked out of that theater thinking it was even better than I had heard. Like, I was so fucking impressed. Noah saying he's never heard of Sinners is wild to me. It's
That's crazy.
that is crazy. It's so fucking good. Ryan Coogler directing and writing, I think maybe, with
With his
Michael B. Jordan,
muse.
with his muse Michael B. Jordan. There's a portion of the movie, like the general. What am I trying to say? The type of movie that it is, I wish I didn't
Sure.
know. And I almost made it to the theater without knowing the type of movie that it was. But I was listening
Sure.
to, I think it was Kind of Funny actually. And someone on there just like casually was like, man, we need more of X kind of movie. And I was like, I had
Yeah.
no fucking idea that this thing was in this movie.
Hmm.
I'm trying not to spoil it in case there are people that don't know what is like the thing about the
Let's
movie is.
spoil it because it's the part that I think is keeping me from the movie is that I know what it boils down to
Yeah.
because I was lucky enough as a kid to have a homie show me From Dusk Till Dawn. Did you
Ooh.
go into Dusk Till Dawn blind or what?
I didn't go into Dusk Till Dawn blind.
Damn, fucking incredible, incredible. Clooney baby.
Yeah, no. Noah in the chat says a user score of 75%. It has a user score of 75% because the world is racist. Like, this is a
Right.
universally a fucking adored movie. Like, it's going to be nominated for Best Picture. Like, this movie
Yep.
is a triumph of cinema. But yeah, the thing I
What's
didn't
Expedition
know,
33 like?
it's an Expedition 33. Like, no, the thing that I didn't, or that I wish I didn't know, is that it's a vampire movie. That I feel like
Mhm.
there's a moment about not halfway through the movie, maybe a third of the way into the movie, where the first third is just world building, setting up this town in the deep south and who these characters are and like what the implications of this world are and like the general given circumstances, blah blah blah. And then you find out that there's fucking vampires, and it's like it's such a cool reveal, and I wish that I didn't know. But yeah, the podcast I was thinking was like, man, we need more vampire movies. I was like, what the fuck do you mean we need more vampire movies? I didn't know
Right.
Sinners was a vampire movie. But Jake, you should watch Sinners. It's fucking great.
I will.
It's
I'll
it's
I'll
really
knock
good.
it out. I'm usually pretty good at like Academy Award nominees, and I do love like award season. One of the things that we've really never talked about here is that like I'm a big award show slut. Like I
Yeah, you are.
love that shit. I stream the Golden Globes every year on Twitch, unless anyone important is listening, in which case I would never do that. And the VODs don't exist, and you'll never catch me. But I love the Oscars. I love the Grammys, even though they get it wrong very often. I think it's fun to see the stars at play. I love Hollywood. I love that whole fucking thing. And I usually am pretty good at staying up on shit and watching a decent amount of those for sure. But yeah, Sinners is on my list. I remember very specifically you talking about this in like fucking April of this year and being, I think it was on content. It was on Spotlight or Dido, but I was on and you were like, you're going to tell me you're not going to go watch a fucking movie where we've got dual billing as twins that are called Smoke and Stack. And I was
God,
like,
it's still so cool.
that's fucking sick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Smoke
It's
and
so
Stack
fucking
are
good.
very good names for twins, I
Yeah, it's
fear.
also it's the kind of thing too where like the more you learn about the movie, it's just so impressive. Like the amount of accuracy, taking out the vampires, but like the historical accuracy of that area, like in the Delta in Mississippi, and the like with the Irish and black people and like all it's just like so cool how much love went into making sure that even though they were telling a fantastic story, that it was still very much based in a like as fucking realistic as it could have been, which I really appreciated. Like the more I would learn about the movie and the lore and stuff was very cool.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Um, my award show heater this year
Yeah.
is One Battle After Another,
Yeah,
which is
I want to see it so bad. I'm waiting for it to not
far
be
and away my
$20
favorite thing.
on demand, and then I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, it won't be long, especially as we ramp up. Like December is big, and I want to talk about that just briefly before we move on, because this is our quote unquote year in review. But this is also December is dumping ground for getting things in before that Academy Award deadline. And there's a
Yeah.
pair of movies that are on their way. Like after this show at midnight, I'm going to watch Jay Kelly, which is the newest Noah Baumbach movie, if you know him.
Oh, I know him.
Um,
I didn't know that there was a new movie coming out though. Jay
yeah,
Kelly,
it's
you said?
Jay Kelly, Kelley, or it may just be LLY, but it's Adam Sandler and George Clooney.
Huh.
And Clooney plays like an actor who is in like the late stage of his career, and Sandler his manager, and it looks really fucking good. And I'm a
Cool.
sucker for his writing. And then also in that same vein, Marty Supreme, dude, Josh Safdie.
Yeah. Schwap!
Fuck, dude, I'm fucking in on that. That is a easy sell for me. I'm a Timothy believer, man. Ever since fucking Little Women 2019, which is to date the finest film on planet Earth, I think. I'm really in on that, and that comes out I think in the coming weeks as well. Yeah, with Howard the Creator, says Gianni in chat, and Jay Kelly is good. It's been in limited release. AOC is a fucking
Nice.
cinema knower. I figured that somebody might have seen it already, and that makes sense that it would be him. Very, very rad. So I'm looking forward to watching those. But yeah, One Battle After Another is Paul Thomas Anderson at the peak of his fucking powers, making just incredible shit. Dude,
did you see
incredible shit?
What I think is such a fucking smart marketing go to market for this fucking movie of Timothy Chalamet releasing this like 20-minute Zoom call he had.
Oh my God.
That's like obvious.
Yes.
Like it's like staged to a certain degree very clearly, but it was like such a fucking smart thing that he did of just releasing this completely unhinged, him like pitching what he thinks should be the marketing play for the movie, and it's so fucking funny. Like it's he's a very funny guy. I'm interested.
Yeah, I like him a lot
in that movie a lot. Yeah, the first time I saw the trailer, it's like the very first trailer, they wait to reveal that it's a ping pong movie for quite some time, and then once he pulls out the paddle and then he started going back and forth, I was like, I'm sorry, this is a ping pong movie. But
yeah, and it looks like I've followed the Safdie brothers pretty closely since Good Time. Like I saw Uncut Gems right when it came out, love that as well. And at this point, like those are pretty go to, like, yeah, we get it, but you love the Safdie brothers, like they're making good shit. But the truth be told, like they have gone their separate ways now, and Benny Safdie has definitely had more time in the spotlight over the last like 3 years between not just his acting but his directing as well. Like he was very involved in The Curse, which I liked quite a bit. The Nathan Fielder Show, and it seems like this movie, like Josh Safdie might be the half of the brothers that was responsible for that kind of like crazy fucking intensity that you find in Good Time and Uncut Gems, and I feel like this is gonna have that same like cerebral fucking stress that those two movies have that I've been looking for since Uncut Gems and haven't really found elsewhere. So I am very, very interested in Marty Supreme, but
I hated Uncut Gems, but I am
really,
they're just, I also had a bad viewing experience of Uncut Gems, but I just, that movie just like, no, not drugs. I watched a bootleg of it at a friend's house, and it was like 8 of us, and it was just like, it was just a nightmare experience. But and like the bootleg wasn't very strong. Like I don't even know where it came from. Someone brought it in, like there was a weird audio thing about it. It was just bad vibes from top to bottom.
Fucking Korean hard subs fucking programmed into the video file.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been there. We've all been there.
Also, this is blowing my mind. I mean, I guess Marty Supreme is a little bit more of a deep cut, also because it's not out yet. But Noah C92, who seems to know just about anything that ever comes up, not knowing but one movie we've talked about. I don't know what movies he's watching, but I don't know how he hasn't heard of most of these movies.
That is crazy. I'm just fucking looking at the cast list of One Battle Over Another right now, and I am so fucking obsessed with the names, where like there's basically, it follows the members of a like resistance squad basically in the South years after their like most powerful showing, the French 75. And I'm just looking at the cast list: Perfidia Beverly Hills, Mae West, Jungle Pussy, Gringo Coyote is the name of all their fucking like coyote. Like, oh dude, I fucking love this movie so much. But what I really want to focus on here, and why I think it's such a fucking lock for uh not only just like, you know, best director, best picture, the whole nine yards, is Sean Penn's supporting actor incoming nomination
Oh, sure.
for Colonel fucking Lockjaw, dude.
Okay.
One of my favorite performances, not of the year, but of all time, I think. One of the
Wow.
funniest physical performances that I've ever seen in my fucking life. This movie doesn't get enough credit for, it's entertaining, it's interesting, it is well made, well acted. The movie is fucking it's so funny. So funny.
Really?
I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, I really, really liked it. Like, it was such a good time at the movies, and such a great like popcorn flick to just sit down and kick back with. It is a really, really fucking banging movie. Yeah, Benicio also, I think there'll be 2 fucking nominees for supporting actors
Yeah.
on that movie. It's fucking incredible.
I.
Regina
Oh,
Hall, dude, shows
oh
up
yeah.
in a
Oh,
dramatic role and fucking kills it as well. Like, it's
love it.
insane.
I can't wait to see it. And also I love I prefer in fact Leonardo DiCaprio in a comedic role to a dramatic role.
Sure.
We've seen it enough.
Oh,
He's pretty
dude.
one note at this point with his dramatic roles. Give him comedy more, cuz I feel like that's when we really see him actually do different stuff, which is fun.
All right, you ready? You want to hear his fucking names, his code names for the French 75? He's
Is it a
Rocket
spoiler?
Man, aka no.
Okay.
This is in the first 10 seconds of the movie. He's Rocket Man, aka Ghetto Pat Calhoun.
That's
So
funny.
fucking good. aka Bob.
AKA Bob. Okay.
You'll love it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you'll
can't
love
wait.
it. You'll fucking love it. One of my
Unless you
favorite
surprise me.
individual line deliveries too
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
go ahead.
movie. There's a punchline. There's a punchline fucking joke. I'm not going to say it. It's a massive spoiler. The funniest line of the year happens at
Oh,
the
wow.
end of that movie. One of the
Okay.
funniest things, the hardest I fucking laughed in a movie theater in such a long time. It was unfucking believable.
Okay. It's probably too late to go watch it tonight because now you have me excited, but because it's pretty long, right? Is it like two and a half, maybe?
2.5
Something like
hours.
that.
Stay up, baby.
Yeah.
Live your
I
fucking
can't do
dream.
that.
It's the end of the week.
Tomorrow I could, not today.
Okay.
Yeah. Only other movie that I watched this year that I wrote down is Weapons. Did you see Weapons?
No, I know of it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you don't like spooky stuff because you're a
I
big
don't.
old goo goo.
That's why no Sinners for me. That's why no Weapons. Yeah.
I
Keeps me
think
out of the loop.
you. I think neither of these movies are. I think you should watch them both, and I don't think you should be scared of them. They're not like capital H horror at all. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
creepy at times, sure, maybe a little tense at times, but I wouldn't say horror for sure.
I think gory, overly gory gets me.
There's some gore in Sinners, but not really. There is some in Weapons, but really not a lot.
Mm.
But yeah, Weapons. So also one that was super overhyped to the point where I tried to stay away from it as I could because I especially like when a movie is getting like the kind of buzz that this is like a pseudo all timer or like one of the best I've ever seen. Like that when people are throwing around those phrases, which everybody loves to do these days. We live in a hyperbolic society. But I try to like, okay, if I don't know anything, I would like to know as little as possible so that I can have like as fresh of an experience. I found this with especially with movies can really make or break my enjoyment if I know too much.
Yep.
And so really the only thing I knew about Weapons going into it is it had something to do with children. That children played a very big role in this movie. But I finally watched it like a month ago, maybe. I think it might have been, yeah, about a month-ish, and loved it. Like I was really, the kind of thing where I really wasn't, I wouldn't have expected what was coming at all, even if I tried to guess, which I love that in a movie. But also it does a thing that I really, really love in storytelling on screen, where it is non-linear in the way that it'll tell you a piece of the story, and then it'll start over and tell you a different piece of the story, and then it'll start over and tell you a different piece that like, and all of them start overlapping over time. So if you were to just to put it in like a timeline, the actual movie is probably like, I don't know, 30 minutes long or something like that in
Right.
terms of what you're seeing of each story. But it just, yeah, it keeps like repeating and going through like the day and a half or whatever of the time frame, which is, I love that kind of style. And then finally, oh, everything has converged, and now we get the climax of the film for the last like 20 minutes. I eat that shit up. I think it's such a good storytelling style. Really, really like it. So yeah, Noah, that this one might be one that you really like. And it has a great cast. It's got Josh
Got the
Brolin,
girl
my personal
from
friends.
what's the movie with the guy from Arrested Development? How am I doing so far? It's
The
the show.
show Ozark.
Ozark. Yep, you're getting there.
What is her name? Fuck.
She plays Ruth or something like that. I want to
Yeah, I
say.
didn't watch Ozark.
He also plays the
One of my
Silver Surfer.
yeah, 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 yeah. Fuck, what is her name? I can't think of it. She also plays Anna Delvey in that Netflix show about Anna Delvey. Leftovers mentioned in the chat.
Yeah,
Very exciting.
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it's got Benedict, the guy that plays Wong
Cumberbatch.
in Marvel, not Cumberbatch.
You're never gonna guess what his last name is.
Is it
Benedict.
Wong?
Who does he play? Yeah,
Is it really? That's funny.
yeah.
Oh, it's no, 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 not Beatty. Beatty Wong is a different guy, right?
BD is a abbreviation for Benedict.
Oh, okay, got it. But yeah, really, really good. Highly recommend Weapons.
Okay,
High School Rookie says, I just said it because it's everyone's activation word around here. I do, me and Jake do
correct.
have a Winter Soldier
Yeah, for
brainwave
sure.
that
My
if you bring
sleeper
up the
cell is
leftovers,
activated.
correct, correct.
I start freaking the fuck out.
That's exactly right.
Hey, let's fly through music real quick because I feel like
Yeah,
music is a hard one to talk about sometimes, and let's just kind of make our little pitches and whatnot, let people know what we're into because I feel like it's the
yeah,
thing that is also the least talked about on this platform. Like we
for
delve
sure.
into movies and TV a little bit from time to time. I watch this and there's a lot of crossover. I feel like, like oh so and so, they're such a great actor. They play Harrison Ford in, that kind of thing. But music is very, very separate. And I just wanted to give like I guess like some honorable mentions to some things that I enjoyed this year. But
Yeah,
Patrick, I am really interested because I stream, so I end up rambling a lot about things that are going on in my life. So I feel like in a lot of ways, a lot of people know more about me than they know about you. And I have no fucking clue what kind of
yeah.
music you listen to.
Music
So
is
I
not
would
something that I
love,
talk to with a lot of people about, and partially because for a really long time, I like barely listened to music. I would listen to it in like I'm with people and they're listening to it, or like I'm in the car and my parents put on like Journey or whatever. It's like I've really liked certain things about music. And no, in the chat says seems to me like he mostly listens to show tunes. I used to, but not really anymore. But I did have an era of show tune isms, and that was mostly in high school into college, when I was studying musical theater. But but you know, I for me, I feel like a lot of the time I don't like listening to music while I do a thing because I want to be able to be focused on the thing more. Like if like work, for example. But then I'll listen to a podcast because that's more like it's just like as if people are talking and I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's a thing there where it's easier for me to focus on something if I'm not listening to music sometimes. But then it's like I listen to instrumental stuff and like that'll help me focus more. So I don't know. I have like a weird thing with that. But a lot of the music that I just like because Rose listens to it and then I really like it and she's listening to it. Because anytime we drive, I get motion sick in a car. So I drive like 110% of the time. So she's always on shotgun radio
DJ.
and yeah,
Yep.
DJ. So all of that to say, some of the albums that I really liked this year, almost entirely things that she brought to me. Japanese Breakfast. Are you familiar with Japanese Breakfast?
I've heard the name before. I'm not familiar.
She is. I don't know her name. Steve Japanese, perhaps. but she has an album that came out earlier in the year, which is very, very good. We saw her live in Atlanta this year, and it was a great concert. Also, like a month or two ago, Haley Williams released an album that's fucking fantastic. Haley Williams
Ooh, I
of
know this one.
Paramore. This one's so
Yeah,
fucking good.
I have a light obsession with Haley Williams, and
Yeah,
it's not light at all. Um, she is perfect and makes incredible music. And I
yeah,
went through a phase where, you know me, I mostly like rap music, but I really love Haley's voice. And I don't always love Paramore because gets a little too rock for me, a little
sure,
too much instrumentation. A little like I
sure.
like my favorite Paramore project is After Laughter, which is like the kind of pop album basically that they kind of experimented with.
Yeah,
Um, and this Haley project was up there for me when it came out a little while ago
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, we were lucky and got tickets for her tour next year because the tickets were like fucking, they went so fast. But we got a couple tickets, which is we're excited about. Also, a pretty recent one. I don't love it, but I do like a lot of it. But I more so just love the implication of it. Lily Allen's newest record. Have you heard? Are you familiar with this?
No.
So she released an album called West End Girl, and it is her just putting fucking Hopper from Netflix's Stranger Things, David Harbour, on blast for being a cheating piece of shit. Like
Really?
literally, the album is just her unveiling him being a shitty partner, and like it's crazy. Like it almost when you listen to it, it almost is like a musical in that it has a complete through line story that she's telling about him
Sure.
having this affair, and like it's so messy. High School Weekly, you gotta listen to it. Because yeah, it is like high drama, this record, and it's, it's poppy, it's good. But it also like each of the songs has like its own different vibe in terms of like
Do you know
genre
her famous
almost, which is good.
brother?
I do. Alfie,
Had no
Theon
idea.
Greyjoy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She
Reek,
was
loyal
famous
Reek,
before he
in
was. Yeah,
fact.
yeah.
Wow. Mhm.
But and then Noah threw out the Clips record in the chat, which was very, very good. I thought I
Yes.
listened to that a couple times through when it first dropped, but I haven't gone back to it. But I did really, really like it.
Yep.
And then I also wanted to shout out. I did the Spotify Wrapped thing this year, and my
Oh,
number
nice.
5 artist, because I don't. Again, I don't. I can listen to somebody or something a few times in a week and it'll like crack the list. Like that's how little I listen on
Same.
Spotify.
Yep.
So my number 5 artist was Dido.
Just from listening to fucking whatever the white flag fucking
From like at the
jam.
beginning of the year when we launched Dido, and I kind of became a little obsessed with it. For literally like 3 weeks I listened to those songs like a handful of times, and she was my number 5 artist of the year,
That's
which I
so
thought was very
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Very
So yeah,
good.
not a very long list. There's a couple more on here, but I'll stop there.
Yeah. The Clips album is on my top 3 albums of the year. I'm typically a one-trick pony when it comes to like music, and at this point I'm getting so fucking old that it feels like I've got a cutoff as far as like, oh, I like rap as long as the rappers have been around for 10 plus years and are still putting out new music type of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Clips album was really good. Let God Sort 'Em Out. My favorite album of the year, if I have to like put it, if I have to decide the gold medal here, is probably Don't Tap the Glass from Tyler the Creator. I think it's really, really good. For me, it is better than Chromacopia, his 2024 effort, which I also like a fucking ton, but it's smaller, it's tighter, it's more aggressive. It's just a really fun like 40 minutes spent in hip hop. I fucking love that project. My most listened to album of the year is Some Sexy Songs for You, the Drake album that came out in February.
I mean,
That
of
is
course.
kind of more an R&B album than anything else. But if there's one thing that he did right, is that Kendrick put out this mostly forgettable GNX super aggressive album that came out in 2025, despite it being a 2024 fucking project full of shit that happened in 2024. For everybody saying the best thing that happened in 2025 was Kendrick bodying Drake is living in the fucking past, that happened in 2024. Nonetheless,
I do have to. I don't really care about this beef as much, but I do have to at least address you saying the mostly forgettable album when it's like people are fucking obsessed with it.
I think it's mid. I would also argue that this dude has forgotten how to fucking have fun, dude. Like music to me is about like good vibes, man, and fun. And no one is ever sitting here like, man, the homies are coming over, the girls are on their way. Been that new Kendrick shit. Fucking
Sure.
never, nowhere, ever.
Thank you.
You know? It's not fucking happening around here.
Sure.
Let's talk about Drake music. They want to shake ass. They want to fucking dance. They want to have a goddamn good time. We love to see the Drake music making a comeback in 2025. Very fun album. Really fun songs. The hits are great. Party Next Door is inoffensive. I really like that project. But my most listened to music of 2025 is 2024's Charlie XCX Brat.
Sure.
I still love that album. I think it's the best project come out in a long time. In late 2024, she dropped the remix album as well, which interpolated every track on that project and changed it up drastically to the point of it almost being like an additional song. I've got a nice mix that I play on stream from time to time. That's the entire Brat album, the entire Brat remix album, and like another dozen tracks from her discography that all sort of fit there. It is really, really dope shit. Still my favorite shit of the year, no doubt. But hey, how do you like the music of Cats, the musical?
Oh, it's shit. Fucking dog shit. Andrew Lloyd Webber mostly
I
sucks.
love that shit.
No,
Andrew
you
Lloyd Webber
don't.
rules. Do you know that I saw? All right, when I was in like 4th grade, we had a music teacher, drama teacher. I don't know, but our whole fucking 4th grade year was centered around Cats. We did the entire play, sang the entire fucking thing. He loved Andrew Lloyd Webber, and we went to
That's
New York
funny.
that year.
To see
Went to
it?
New York that year. Well, no, we went to New York to visit family and have a vacation. But while we were there, we caught the very tail end. I think it was like 96 or 97, I want to say, probably, of Cat's original fucking Broadway run.
Wow.
In like the theater that it was in for a very, very long time, that had like all of the trash and shit plastered on the fucking walls, done to the nines of like, I remember sitting there in the theater, and as all of the cats are coming out singing Jellicle Cats, they don't just come on stage, they come out through the fucking goddamn tunnels and the side doors, and they're in the fucking crowd and shit. It was really rad.
That's so funny.
Jellicle Jake, yeah.
There was a time, God, about a decade ago, I made an appearance on a Kind of Funny podcast. They were at a con. It was back when they would do like live shows at cons, and this was in the Colin era. And I'm pretty sure it was Colin asked me to sing Cats when I came up to the mic. And I was like, brother, nobody fucking knows Cats songs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm not singing you Cats. Because also Cats the music is dog shit. There's one song that people agree is good from Cats is Memories.
Mr. Mistopheles. Oh, right.
Sure.
That's a very funny joke I just made for anyone that knows Mr. Mistopheles. Yeah, and my other big show tune thing is, you know, my obsession with Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And the music of ABBA. Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it's easy because it's ABBA. Like there's a lot of those kinds of musicals, like what we call in the business a jukebox musical. Jake, have you heard of it?
For sure. I love those jukebox joints. Play the hits.
Yeah.
Wrap a fucking story around it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And Mamma Mia being probably, at least, there might be one that's bigger than Mamma Mia, but Mamma Mia might be the biggest of them all. But Jersey Boys is another one of Frankie Valli's music. Where you just take a bunch of songs that already exist.
You see those Frankie Valli videos like a year or two ago on TikTok and short form media of him just like coming out like a deceased man. Yeah. You're doing the despondent wiggle right now. That shit was so fucking funny to me, where it's like the 4 backup singers killing it, and then they just make way and he just kind of stumbles forward. Very sad.
Meanwhile, the track is like, L is for the way, and he's just
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Pull up some of those Frankie Valli videos on B-roll. I'm just kidding.
Oh, brutal.
Let's move into television. Let's talk about TV this year. And I have a long list of shit that I am really fucking passionate about and super into.
Yeah, I do fear we took too long to get here. I'm locked in, but this could be another 2 hours.
Listen,
It won't be, but
it won't be, but I got some fucking gas in the tank, and when you're the only person that I can keep captive, I will keep you captive for longer than I should.
sure. Well,
Let's fucking go.
some of the people in the chat noticed I texted Rose. I was like, I'm so thirsty. If you consent to being on camera, can I please have some water? And she opens the door, and I have lights in front of the door that she doesn't know about because she never comes in here when I'm recording, and just immediately tripped over the lights.
You fucking booby trapped.
Yeah, someone,
Your
I think it was
fucking
Heroic Edgar.
wife.
Very good, yeah.
That's very funny. That's very funny.
It has been an incredible year for television.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where our
This year.
overlap is because
Yeah.
I feel like I watched a lot of stuff that is pretty critically acclaimed and not much else. Popular or critically acclaimed, I guess.
Yeah.
And let's start at the top with something that maybe you wouldn't anticipate being here. And I don't know if you and I have talked about it. Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah, I did. I have watched it. Yeah,
Did you watch those 4 episodes?
I did.
What did you think?
I
Tell
thought
me
it
your
was
history
pretty.
with Stranger Things and where you at.
Yeah. So I really loved the first season. The first 2 seasons I really loved. And then I didn't really care for season 3 very much at all. And season 4 I thought was pretty bad. I liked it fine, but it was like, oh, this has been the big threat all along. Like that. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
But so far, I really liked these first 4 episodes. To a point. It's very much like they're. I think the release cadence is absurd. That we're getting 4 episodes now,
Yeah.
3 or 4 more on Christmas, and then the finale on New Year's. I'm like, God, like just fucking drop it all. Like this is so dumb. I just want to watch it.
I'm here to defend it, dude. I
No?
kind of like it. I don't know. You have a tough situation these days. I like that they're trying something different. I think that it's bold to do so on holidays the way that they're doing it, although some could argue that it's been so long that probably at this point, when you started Stranger Things, if it was like a family thing, it might be something that you're doing with your family because it's been such a long period of time, 10 years since this goddamn show premiered. But generally, I feel like your options are annoy people with a weekly cadence, which feels archaic at this point to a certain extent, or drop it all at once and everyone talks about it for 10 days and then that fucking light flickers out and it is on to the next thing. And this, I think, gives like what is something that desires to stay inside the zeitgeist for a little bit longer 3 solid attempts at staying within it. We're going to be talking about Stranger Things for a good month and a half as opposed to 10 days, which I think is a lot, something to say.
Are we,
Marketing
though?
standpoint.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
This is the first time that someone has asked me about Stranger Things is right now. No, like, I don't feel like people are really talking about it. And I think like in the past with Netflix, when something is really incredible, it stays on that top 10 for weeks and weeks. And so I feel like if they knew that this final season was going to be an all-timer, they would have released it all at once. But I feel like they are trying to manufacture hype by spacing it out. Especially with this, like, the streamer that started this of dropping everything at once. It feels weird to me.
Yeah, I can see the devil's advocate there, but I think that generally it's pretty good. And I think that despite it, you're saying we don't see people talking about it, but then you're also saying that it's at that top 10 for a long time. And I think that just has to do with like the people that you interact with and being on Twitch and maybe having Twitch being a potentially younger crowd, people in their early 20s and whatnot. I feel like a lot of these kids that grew up with this are now, again, if you watch Stranger Things for the first time when you were 15 years old and it appealed to you, then you are now 25, 26 years old and watching it based on nostalgia. And I always say, like, I watched those 4 episodes self-loathingly. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're like, all right, gotta fucking do this. And there were points, that first episode, it's got the fucking scene of the 2 dudes climbing up the tower, and it was like panning from each of them fucking like climbing, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm watching like the dumbest shit that I've ever watched. I'm actually losing fucking brain cells right now. What is this horse shit? But by the end of it, I feel like they stuck the landing. We discovered the power of gay, and I think that's very strong and powerful. I liked that quite a bit. Dude, I honestly found myself coming off of it like that was a solid 4-episode arc, and I want more, but I'm also satiated by, like, I feel like if we would have had a longer break between episodes 3 and 4, it would have been not good. 2 and 4, not good. Like, they kind of nailed it wrapping with 4 and giving us a little bit of time to stew on it and see where things are going next. I
I
am
mean,
hotter on it than I thought.
I will say, if you're gonna give us a break, a month is the absolute longest that I won't be annoying about, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If it were anything longer, I would have been like, well, this is fucking stupid. Like, I'm just gonna wait,
Yeah.
and then just have it be the way that I would want it to do it, which is just binging everything. But a month was enough time where it's like, okay, I think, because we were sitting on the couch the other night, I don't know, maybe Thursday or Friday of last week, and we were figuring out what we were going to watch. And Rose was like, well, I guess we should probably watch Stranger Things so we don't get spoiled. But then, like, to what I was saying earlier,
Exactly.
like, no one has brought it up to me. And, like, I've not seen spoilers. I've not seen people talk about it. So it's like, I guess I probably could have waited a little bit, but maybe not. Also, Kayla says, someone said the other day that when season 1 of Stranger Things came out, Vine was still a thing.
Damn. Yeah,
Fucking
that's crazy.
And then Josh just
the
saying
other
Harambe
thing-
apparently died a couple months before. Fucking crazy.
RIP. The other thing that I like about this release cadence is I think it's asinine to drop your stuff in its entirety on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. The fact that we're getting an absorbable amount of these, like it's going to be like 3 or 4 hours of stuff on Christmas, and you can watch it leading up to New Year's Day. New Year's Day, usually you're not doing much other than fucking just watching things, like the Drop In Drop Out podcast premiering live
That's
that day.
exactly right. Game of the year.
Exactly, big discussion. I think that Stranger Things is low key a Christmas series. It's kind of cozy. It's got the Christmas light things from the first one where Joyce uses it to communicate with fucking Will and the whole 9 yards. So I've always kind of associated that. It's always like a snowy little vibey cozy thing. So I am here defending it. Let's go and move from Stranger Things, which is lower brow, to something highbrow. I want to talk about some award winners. I watched the not the Academy Award winners, the Emmy Award winning shows in both the drama and the comedy category. And I must say, the Academy got it correct.
Yeah?
The Pit on HBO.
Brother.
And The Studio on Apple TV.
Brother.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Bangers. Have you watched either?
I have seen both. I have. The Pit might be in the running for one of the greatest single seasons of television ever produced. I think a lot of it has to do with the premise of, if you aren't familiar with The Pit, it takes place at a hospital in Pittsburgh, and every episode is an hour of the shift, of the emergency room shift. So that's also part of it, is that, like, the story that they're telling for the season, very much like the old Fox classic 24, all happens within like a very specific short set of time. But Noah Schnapp makes his return. No, sorry. Hold on. Noah Wiley makes his return. Schnapp
also makes his return.
Yeah, makes his return to the
badly.
hospital. Correct. Yes, correct. Noah Wiley makes his return to the hospital in The Pit with the Emmy win for Best Leading Actor in a Drama Series. And I can't fucking wait for season 2 of The Pit. Because season 1
also this
blew my fucking mind. How good it was.
This motherfucker. So the thing that we're leaving out here. So yeah, High School Weekly says it's 24 meets ER, but it also, both of those meet HBO production quality. And I think that's the thing that really separates it, is like, dude, it has the most realistic fucking birth scene that I've ever seen on film. At one point on the first episode, there's a degloved leg, and it is some of the most gory and nasty shit that I've ever seen on fucking television. But it is so good for setting the scene and keeping it all so grounded in this, like, 24-hour time cycle. I think it's 15 hours long, but the way that they navigate those 15 hours and the way that things naturally escalate to the point of why the shift runs long and what the fuck transpires at the climax of that season, because of the way that it's structured. it sometimes doesn't feel like it is not a natural progression of a show. You could probably trace it and find that most episodes have 3 acts and a climax, but some of them very much don't, and they lead to the next episode. And it is a show that benefits, I think, from being binged in a lot of ways, because it is a page turner of a TV show where I'm like,
Oh, I agree.
I have got to watch the next hour of this fucking transpire. And there is like a 3 episode arc towards the end where I was like, I would cancel whatever I'm doing right now to continue watching this show through the end. And it is so
Yeah.
fucking gratifying and so fucking good.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything of it, but there comes a point in the season where something starts to transpire and you're like, "Oh, obviously." Like this for
Yeah.
the structure for what this show is. This is like the perfect event to be happening. This makes so much fucking sense. And it's
Yeah.
like the that like excitement's the wrong word, but that like activation of like, ooh,
Electricity. Like it's
this that of
fucking,
like I can't wait to see where this goes because it's something that is very prevalent and very like it's like, oh, what a fucking like, yeah, it's so good.
it's so
I'm
good.
I'm very concerned about a season 2 because it's like it's like the
Bro.
it's probably gonna be great, but the point I'm trying to make is it's like what's the fucking Matthew McConaughey show that it was so fucking good, True Detective, where it's like the guy that writes True Detective spends like 7 years creating the first season, just toiling away coming up with this premise, and then has to fucking churn out season 2 within a year, and it's fucking dog shit. I worry about that for
Nick
the pit.
Pizzolatto, I believe, is his
Yeah,
name, and he fucking sucks
yeah,
at making things. He just had a fluke with True Detective season 1. The biggest issue that they had is they wrote themselves into an episodic corner where they couldn't continue that, and they decided to take what was supposed to be a limited series and make it an anthology series. When in reality, True Detective should not be True Detective season 1. It should be True Detective the limited series that was rad as fucking amazing. And the first season of True Detective I also rewatched this year, and it's a fucking banger. But the
yeah,
Pit, however, from its inception is a multi-season show, and
for
I
sure.
think the arc that they took was very smart for season 1, and all you had to say was that there's a time gap and that season 2 takes place. Do you know when it takes place?
The exact same time the next year, right?
No,
Or is it just the
it's
next
like
day?
7 months. No, it's like 7 months later on fucking the 4th of July,
Oh,
which
nice.
is so fucking good. Like such a notorious time for like, you got teenagers getting their fucking stomach pumped. You got hands blown off from fireworks. You have people getting drunk and getting in fights. Like I think it's going to be such a good premise and such an entertaining season to watch things go down
That's
like
good.
that.
I thought for some reason I thought I heard that it was like gonna have the same amount of time jump as like the show, where like it's been a
I
year,
think
like
it
it's gonna drop in January, and so it's just the next January or whatever. But I must have
Yeah, I
misunderstood.
think it's January, but I want to say it was like March that it came out of this past year, maybe. So I'm not positive. But yeah, it's really fucking good shit. What about the studio? Where were you at on the studio?
I like the studio. I there are episodes of the studio that I really enjoyed more than others. I think like as a premise, I thought it was very fun. If you don't know the studio, it's a Seth Rogen show where he plays like a producer in Hollywood, and he takes over like the studio head of this studio in Hollywood as like a journeyman kind of type. And so each episode typically it reminds me a lot of Extras back in the day with Ricky Gervais, where each episode is kind of like centered around a famous person in some capacity, whether it's like
Hmm.
a show or movie they're doing or whatever. And then, but it's very much supposed to be like a look inside the industry and like what it's really like being on the other side type thing, but in a very kind of heightened, funny way. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's not one of the best things I've ever watched, but I think it was very strong and probably deserved winning this year. Because I can't remember what else was nominated this year off the top of my head in the comedy category, but I did very much enjoy it.
For a comedy show that is really low barrier of entry, where like that entire season is like 4 hours long, 10 episodes. And I think I'm with you. I think some episodes are stronger than other, but I think the 1-2 punch of episode 1, where same deal, where so basically it takes place in our Hollywood and a lot of the characters play themselves or an exaggerated version of themselves. Extras is a great way. Did you live in the world where for like 4 years the coolest thing ever on TV was Entourage?
I was never part of the entourage. I
Oh,
was in fact part of the culture that thought entourage was embarrassing as it was happening.
right, understandable. And it's
Yeah.
embarrassing in retrospect, but I loved it at the time. It was the
Yeah.
coolest thing in the world. The stars that play Jessica Alba as herself.
But
But
I think part
this
of it,
does
just
that.
to very quickly add color, I think part of it was because I wasn't there from the beginning and I was resentful.
Sure, I was episode 1 Entourage,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm a turtle main, you know, what can I say? Um, I just really think that this is like a highbrow Entourage in a lot of ways. But for me, some of the highest highs in this show are when characters are playing not themselves. I think Bryan Cranston
Yeah.
in the studio is so good and has one of the best quotes of the year in when talking about Barbie. He says, "If a plastic pussyless doll can make $1 billion, why can't we make Kool-Aid the movie?" or some shit like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Very
I watched
fucking
an
good.
interview with him. It might have been the Graham Norton show. I forget where it was, but he was talking about how he's never done like edibles before, and so he did edibles with Seth Rogen like leading up to it. But his experience wasn't like how it was on the show. But there's an episode where he eats a
Sure.
bunch of weed and gets so fucked up.
Uh,
But he was like, I
Shrooms.
had no idea what to do because I've never been that high in my life, which I thought was funny.
So fucking good. And that is the same episode that I give a lot of credit to. Zoe Kravitz has a
Oh yeah,
wonderful
yeah, yeah, yeah.
multi-episode arc alongside Dave Franco, and both playing exaggerated versions of themselves and so fucking funny in those couple chaotic episodes. But then that second episode, The Oneer, is one of
Oh
my
sure.
favorite episodes of TV, where the entire show, the entire movie, it's not a movie, god damn it, the entire episode is the word that I'm fucking looking for, is about like 25 minutes long. And the premise is Seth Rogen is visiting a set of somebody that is shooting a scene for a Hollywood movie that is a one shot. It is a oneer. But the entire episode is also a oneer. The entire thing is shot in one single take. And it is maybe the most impressive one shot that I've seen in a really fucking long time.
It
Like
was
from
very impressive.
it's a really really cool fucking episode, and the fact that in 1 hour you can absorb those first 2 episodes of the studio, I think it's one of the strongest like premieres that you could possibly imagine for any new TV show. Really hot on it,
For sure.
extremely funny. Haven't even dug into like Catherine Hahn and Ike Barinholtz for
Yeah.
supporting cast who are so fucking good. Her name escapes me right now. Mom from
Catherine O'Hara.
uh, Catherine O'Hara, dude,
She's great in the show.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
unfucking believable. Just a really really fun show. Studio The Pit. What else do you have on your list,
I
Patrick?
have quite a few. I'm gonna burn through a couple of them. A
Sure.
couple shows that are on right now that I'm very much enjoying. Actually, the Chair Company just ended. It just had its season finale. Which are you caught
Yes,
up on the Chair Company?
I am not. I am 4 episodes in, and I adore it.
I really, really, really love the show, but I regret to inform you. I think the season finale is one of the worst finales of a show I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, have you watched The Curse?
I have, but I didn't finish the curse. I didn't like the curse.
So The Curse also has I when I watch The Chair Company, it's really hard for me to get The Curse out of my head. Where I see it,
Interesting.
it's got the same like almost like melodramatic setup where it's like subtly funny more than it is like laugh out loud funny a lot of times, and it seems to kind of be going in a odd direction, and I'm worried about it kind of like jumping the shark, for lack of a better term, and I could see that being the case. I'm worried now that you say that I'm not gonna
Well,
like
I
what it was.
thought so. I think, and I'll be spoiler free in from a content perspective, but I thought because it was an 8 episode season, and I thought the first 7 episodes were all very strong, and without actually saying what happens, the issue that I have with the finale is that it's not a finale; it's just another episode, and but there is
Mm,
like there it has been renewed for a season 2, but there's like
mhm.
absolutely no closure. There's no like it feels as if there is still story that should be told next week that we won't be getting for like probably 2 years, which so it's like that's what I mean by it's a
Got
really
it.
bad finale. I think it was a fine episode, but
Okay.
what is typically supposed to at the very least end on like a cliffhanger of some capacity to like set up more story is just like, oh no, we just didn't even reach the conclusion of this arc that you're telling. It's like this is like getting into act 3. It was very, very strange, but very good. If you don't know the
Got
chair
it.
company, it's Tim Robinson, the guy who does I Think You Should Leave. He gets into an embarrassing situation at work in which a chair breaks that he sits in front of a bunch of his coworkers. Then he goes down this rabbit hole of trying to uncover the conspiracy of the company that makes the chair company, and if this was like an inside job or like if there's some kind of a conspiracy about the people that make this chair, that the public needs to know about just because he got embarrassed at work, which is a very funny concept.
It's a very good premise, and and it's also
Yeah.
directed by the same guy who directed Friendship, which is a movie that I'm not
Yeah.
that fond of. Were you hot on that?
I was a lot hotter on it than you. I don't think it's like an all timer by any means, but
Sure.
I very much enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm watching
I'm
that
interested
along
to
with I
finish it,
Love
and I
LA.
will.
Yeah, which is the other kind of
Oh,
new
Rachel
HBO show
Sennott.
happening.
I love her.
Me too. I really like the show a lot. I didn't watch Girls back when it was on, but a lot of people are saying it's like a new age or a newer age. I guess not new age. Girls. So I can't necessarily speak to that because I didn't watch Girls. But what I
You should
can
watch
speak
Girls.
to is that I never really liked Lena Dunham, but I really like Rachel Sennott and all the other people in this show. I Love LA. It follows Rachel Sennett's character, who is a manager in Hollywood, and her friend is like an influencer, and she is trying to be her manager, and it's very, very fucking funny and very good. And it does the thing too where like Elijah Wood just played him like a version of himself in it, and he was so fucking weird and goofy, and it was like that's the kind of shit that I'm really enjoying with the show is the little cameos happening. But unlike the studio, that's not what I think in some ways carries the show. It's a very good show otherwise.
Sure.
Not to say that the studio is bad otherwise, but the studio very much is built around getting Zac Efron to be Zac Efron and that kind of thing. Whereas this is more so just a story of some friends in LA. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's like halfway through the season maybe, but 30-minute show, Sunday nights, pretty good.
Hell yeah, I love that. I'm going to watch that. I've heard people compare it to How to Make It in America, which was a 2-season HBO show.
Oh,
You ever watch that?
deep cut. I loved How to Make It in America, and I was so
Me
sad when
too,
it got
dude.
canceled.
Yeah, Kid Cudi.
Crisp,
Was
was
in
that the
that?
jean company that they start? I think it
I
was called
believe
Crisp.
so. Yeah, the fashion. Yeah, it's so fucking
Yeah.
sick. But I've heard that mentioned as they are talking about that and praising that show. So I'm definitely in on that. And I think that also just
Yeah.
got picked up for season 2 as well, which is good.
It did,
HBO
yeah.
still making fucking peak content, and she's so good.
Oh, for
And
sure.
also, to bring it back, pops up in all of like the Charlie XCX videos. They were in the same fucking
Oh, yeah.
squad.
Well,
Rachel,
did you
yeah,
see
yeah.
there's an A24 movie happening?
Oh, did I ever? Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Both
I thought
of
was
them
crazy.
in it. Loosely based
That
on
part of
Charlie's
the
career.
reason, yeah, that Rachel said it kept showing up at all of her shows is that they were filming a mockumentary about Charlie XCX, which I thought is fucking great.
It's awesome, and it's unbelievable that that is going to behind the scenes be captured because of how big of a moment that Brat album became, like while it was happening. Crazy that we're going to get a behind the scenes on that, even if it's embellished in a lot of ways. But yeah, really, really fucking good shit.
Earlier, when we were talking about The Curse, Blaster Goblin in the chat, who's joining us this evening, said he wanted to like The Curse about it but couldn't get into it. I love Fielder, but I couldn't force myself to enjoy it, which reminds me of another Nathan Fielder season from this year, The Rehearsal Season 2.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
Controls.
My Controls. Quite possibly one of my favorite pieces of media that's ever existed. The Rehearsal Season 2 makes the existence of season 1 as like a precursor to it absolutely fucking essential.
Yeah.
And I would argue that the buildup of season 1 to give us season 2, and then the buildup of season 2 to give us the finale of season 2
Yeah.
as a singular episode is one of the most fantastic and profound payoffs in media. And I'm not fucking being hyperbolic. Like, that is a masterpiece of an episode and of a story, and not even like of a story, of like a scenario, I guess, because this is real world shit that
Yeah.
is absolutely fucking profound, truly insane. I love that
The
show.
rehearsal
Love
is
that project.
there are a lot of people that I've come across that are like, I just don't like a show where like people are being embarrassed or like people are like, it's
Yeah.
like real world people. And it's like, it just makes me uncomfortable. It makes me like, I get secondhand embarrassment and I get anxious and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, grow up. Like the rehearsal is
For sure.
truly one of the best pieces of television ever created. If you're not familiar with the rehearsal, which Noah in the chat saying he isn't, the rehearsal, the premise is that Nathan Fielder in the first season creates this like safe space, like a rehearsal hall where people can come and like pay him to create these scenarios to rehearse something before it happens in real life. So like I want to break up with my partner, or I want to try to quit my job, and they go through these scenarios of like of a rehearsal where he does his research and like finds the kinds of people that will be there and like whatever, so that they can run through all of the different scenarios that might happen, so that when it happens in real life that they're prepared. So that's like the general premise of the rehearsal. And then they take it a whole step further with season 2, where he has this thesis statement, this theory that pilots of commercial jets, there's this like power dynamic that is unspoken, that the second pilot is always too afraid to ever like step up and say something to the main pilot because of the power dynamics in the cockpit. And so he like tries to create this whole thing to try to get like
The FAA.
Congress involved, you know, the FAA,
Yeah.
to be like, we need to change rules and laws in the cockpit so that like bad things don't happen, like crashes or whatever. And it's so funny and crazy.
It is a show that asks, like, what if you had a crazy bit and you were the most committed to this bit that anybody could ever commit to for like a piece of comedy? And it goes to the lengths of, you will not fucking believe the way that this show ends. You will not believe what this man does. Noah, as I'm assuming Nathan Fielder is like a producer or something, he is the producer, writer, director, and star of the rehearsal is Nathan Fielder. Like, it is
Yeah.
a look inside the mind of, it's fucking unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I would argue as well that I am fascinated by planes in general. And I think like plane crashes and like the construction of these giant sideways flying buildings that go through the sky and transport people is very compelling. And I would argue that like the cold open of season 2 of the rehearsal is some of the most compelling shit to make people watch a
Sure.
TV show ever. Like, it's so good. The dramatic reenactments of and the script readings of these interactions that happen in the cockpit before disasters on planes, and then drawing the conclusion that he may have stumbled upon. This is not a spoiler again. This is in the first like couple minutes. He basically draws the conclusion in the very beginning of that episode that the number one cause of plane crashes in the world historically ever is barrier of communication between pilot and co-pilot. And it is a fucking compelling argument that is then argued over 10 episodes in the grandest and most absurd of fashions,
Yeah.
but then brings it fucking around in such a crazy way. I watch a ton of plane crash documentaries. If you are interested in that at all, if this rings a fucking bell for you, go start with season 1. Don't question the fucking journey. Just know that the destination is going to be so satisfying.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, the
plane
arc of season
reference.
2 especially is very good. Blaster Goblin with a lore drop says he works with airplanes. 80% of pilots rude as hell and terrible communicators, so that show is very real for me. How about that?
Fuck yes, I love that. Very cool. And then Gianni says season 1 was incredible. Still haven't yet to see season 2. You've done the
Got to.
work. Season
Yeah.
1 existed to prepare you for season 2. Please lock
Yeah.
in and tell us how much you loved it.
A couple quick ones that I'll just burn through really fast, because there's a couple that I think we'll really want to talk about, so I'm saving those.
Sure.
Any Outlander fans out there? the spin-off Blood of My Blood on Stars, surprisingly
Mm.
very fucking
What is
good.
Outlander for those who don't know? I know, obviously, but let's say I
Outlander
didn't.
is a historical fiction romance series set during the Jacobite Revolution in the 1700s question mark in
Mm.
Scotland. It's about this woman who time travels from America and or not America, sorry, from she's English. Time travels from like 1947 or something in Scotland to like the 1700s, and it tries to get back through time, but then falls in love with this bicept gammed Scottish man in the Jacobite Revolution. And Blood of My Blood is like a spin-off prequel series, which is very good.
Man,
The
I
typical
am
fan of
desperately looking
Outlander
for
is
like
like a
a
45-year-old woman, and
oh.
which is why it's my shit.
I started the Gilded Age this year because I am such
Yeah.
a sucker for like a period piece drama. And I was looking for stuff that was like set in that time because if we're gonna do it, we should do a spin-off of this podcast. The best movies we watched this year that didn't come out this year. I rewatched Gangs of New York, and God,
Whoa.
fucking damn, dude,
Billy the
what
Butcher.
a god, the butcher. He's fucking so good. He's
Yeah.
so good in that movie. I love Daniel Day-Lewis. Let's start a podcast about him.
Oh, for sure.
Did you see
I
Anemone? You
was
didn't, I'm assuming.
not yet. No, not yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, me either.
But Blood of My Blood, I really enjoyed. Also, the Peacemaker season 2, I thought was quite good. I don't know if you're a Peacemaker
Mm,
fan, but season
no,
2 I thought was really, really good. And then you're not a Star Wars guy, right?
I'm a Star Wars guy. What the fuck?
Like TV wise, though, I feel like you don't watch Star Wars TV. Like you didn't watch Andor, right?
Are you talking about Andor? No,
Yeah.
Andor's too highbrow for me. Like, I don't know
You're a
what it
fucking
is.
idiot, dude.
I'll eat up, dude. I will eat up any fucking Ahsoka bullshit that you fucking serve my way. I will take Mandalorian season 10. But if you start making Kino that doesn't have cameos from fucking Luke Skywalker and shit, I become significantly less interested. But tell me about how good Andor is while I grab my replica lightsabers to show you.
I know you're a Star Wars guy, but I thought you didn't care about any Star Wars television. Andor season 2 is unfucking believable. Like I really liked season 1. I was not the most hot on it, which suggests that I wasn't hot on it. I was very hot on it, but I didn't think it was like the best thing that had ever been made. Probably one of the best Star Wars things ever made. But season 2 of Andor is an absolute fucking triumph. And it is there's an episode about halfway through. I was watching Andor. It was very good. You're a little lightsaber boy. I was watching Andor at like peak tree time, and there's in season 2, it's like very stressful, and I'm like a week and a half into displacement, watching just some of the most stressful television, and I'm like, I'm very unwell. I shouldn't be watching this, but it's so fucking good. Andor, you must watch Andor. It is a non-negotiable.
I
You
will.
must watch Andor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2, I think it just wraps it all up so fucking well, and it I'm surprised that Disney let them do it, honestly, with some of the
Yeah.
content of that show about like genocide and shit like that. I'm like, I kind of can't believe that Bob Iger
Sure.
signed off on this shit. But it's really fucking strong, and you should watch it.
Yeah. I think that show having a certain amount of prestige is what kind of let it go through, and I think that also having that limited scope of like we just want to do a pair of seasons. There is already like a finite time frame, I
Yeah,
guess, on, obviously we know how that shit ends for the most part. And being like an isolated story gave them carte blanche to sort of tell the story that they wanted to tell, and obviously to great effect. Because
yeah,
that show premiered at the same time as like The Acolyte, which is like the opposite of that as far
for
as
sure.
quality goes, from what I understand.
The one thing I would say about Andor, which is maybe a selling point or a detracting point, if we want to bring NPS back into it, is that I think Andor on its own could be watched by someone who has never even heard of Star Wars and think it's fucking incredible. Again, maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. But like Coal Mines in the chat says he watched all 9 movies, Rogue One and Mando season 1, and said that's it for me. Like you might still fuck with Andor on such a deep level because it's that fucking good. And in a lot of ways, it's not very Star Wars. The most Star Wars it is in season 2 when there's a lot of like political stuff happening. But even I feel like season 1, a lot of it is very much not as Star Warsy as other Star Wars stuff. But yeah, Andor a must watch, especially as someone who owns. Did I count 3 lightsabers or
Three
2?
lightsabers, yeah.
Yeah,
Yoda, Kylo Ren, and then like the Star Wars lightsaber, which is like the Anakin slash Rey slash Luke blue one.
yeah. You gotta fucking watch it. You gotta grow up.
Yeah, I will. No lightsabers in that show though, from what I understand.
Um. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Come on, man. That's like fucking. Do you know that in Star Wars Episode 8, which I'm a pretty staunch defender of,
Oh, I think
Last
Last
Jedi,
Jedi is great. Yeah.
um, there is not a single clash of lightsabers. Two lightsabers do not hit each other. There's some lightsaber action, no doubt. There's weird trickery going on. It
There
fucks me
was
up.
a clashing of something in my mind when Justin Theroux was on camera about 5 minutes into that movie.
I love that.
You know
Fuck
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Fucking gambler. Codemaster, man.
I only have 2 more things to talk about, and I feel like it might be the biggest of the discussion points potentially. At least one of them. Maybe I can't remember. Are you a Severance guy?
No, but soon. Here's the thing about Severance. Soon to be. Soon to be. I know it's up my alley, and I don't think I'll let season 3 come out without catching up on seasons 1 and 2 because it's right. It's my kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you
You are? I'm
would.
assuming?
Oh yeah, you would fucking love Severance. Season 2 of Severance was fantastic. That's all I'll say then, because I thought you had watched it, but then as I was saying, I was like, oh no, actually, we would have talked about it if you had, and we didn't. So, yeah, Severance is very good. I didn't love where it ends, but I know that there will be more. So I'm not super. I'm
Yeah.
not holding it against it as much. But season 2, again, it's that like I'm just such a sucker for building to something big.
Mm.
And like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, even the better example, because that's all of
Oh,
Breaking Bad is also building to the ending of Better Call Saul, where like,
God.
which is probably the best segue into Pluribus of this, like,
No, let's leave it for last.
leave it. Okay. I just, yeah, I love it when something like a build to something big, and Severance is a very, very strong build to big moments of season 2.
I'd cut off my dick to smoke a cigarette with Kim Wexler.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. It's a tough sell, actually. But I do crazy things. Definitely like some, not a limb, but like a digit. Couple pinky, like a pinky toe, and like maybe like my
Yeah.
ring finger or something. I don't know.
Well, if you cut off your
That's
pinky, then
probably
you cut off your
my
toe.
guess. No. It's just the length thing. I want to talk to you about Task. I want to sell you on
Oh
Task.
yeah, sell me.
I love this shit. I am an impartial Mark Ruffalo fan. I find him offensive sometimes, but other times I think he just crushes it so hard that I can't deny his skill as an actor. And this is one of those examples where Mark Ruffalo fucking kills it. But he's dual billing with this man, Tom Pelphrey. Do you know who this is? He's from seasons 3 and 4 of Ozark. He kind of had a breakout role there. Been a TV actor for a long time.
I know Tom Pelphrey from fuck, I was gonna say Outer Wilds is not what it's called. It's an Amazon show with Josh Brolin, aforementioned,
Mm-hmm.
set in Wyoming. He's a rancher, but it's like sci-fi. It's called fucking
Outer Range.
Outer Range. Outer Range. I know him from Outer Range. Outer Range, great show, by the way. Unfortunately, we're
Never
probably
heard
never
of
gonna get
it.
a season 3.
Who knew? That seems right up my alley. I love Josh Brolin.
You
I
should watch
love
Outer
Imogen
Range.
Poots.
Yeah.
Very dope. But so Task is from the creator of Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of this?
I am.
So limited series HBO, sort of almost in that like True Detective season 1 vibe of like a standalone story with a beginning, middle, and an ending. Very, very concrete shit to the point of I don't see how they can proceed forward with that individual story, but is just so fucking good and is also a really good example of a show that benefits from where like that it takes its setting so seriously, where they all have these like Pittsburgh ass accents and the whole thing is so embedded in this fucking area that the show the show's setting is one of its characters, and so much of it takes place not only like in like an inner city but in the wilderness. It is such a fucking pleasurable show to watch, and it's so fucking absorbable. It's a fucking HBO show that has 7 episodes. Like you can crank this out in a night, maybe a weekend. Just really, really fucking good shit. Ask Baby. Can't recommend it enough.
I will watch it at some point for sure. Sometimes I have a barrier of like watching a cop show. And
mm,
it's not even like an ACAB thing for me. It's just
mhm.
like I've just seen so many cop shows in my life. And like sometimes I'll
The
start a show and not realize it's a cop show and be like, "Oh, it's a cop show." Like I watched Paradise this year on Hulu. And which if you don't know Paradise, it's like a pseudo cop show. He's like the main character, Sterling K. Brown, is a like a bodyguard, which a bodyguard's basically a cop. Because
mhm.
but it's like such an easy structure of storytelling is
Yeah.
cop and whatever.
So
But I
I
will
would
watch it
argue
eventually.
what's really great about this movie, with this show, is that it reminds me a lot of The Departed, in that
Mm,
it is a cop show that is about you don't really know where lines are, whereas like so much of The Departed is like who is in on what. There is like crosses and double crosses and triple crosses, and this person's working with that person, and that one's an informant, and that person is involved with these people. And it's a show that kind of like keeps you guessing and definitely doesn't have anything strong to say about like cops being bad or anything like that, to the point of
sure.
none of the people in this show are like local PD boots on the ground. Like Task in itself is it's an FBI show about a specific task force that is assembled via people from different things. So you have somebody that comes in that's from the FBI, you have somebody that's pulled in as a specialist who worked as like a state trooper, and then somebody from the local police department is part of the task force who is like a paper pusher because they're not good at doing other things. And it's this kind of like ensemble that's brought together to create the best task force, and then things kind of go sideways and how it kind of happens from there. And for that, for me, it's very, very compelling, in the same way that it's like a page turn. You want to see what happens. You don't understand where things are going to a certain point because you as the viewer are kept in the dark in
Sure.
some very specific ways on purpose, which I think enhances the viewing experience.
Let's just say this cop story is a little different. Let's just say you don't quite know where the lines are drawn.
You're so right. Let me push out my last one that I just have to
Yeah,
mention, even though I've
push it
been
out,
a
buddy.
bad fan and I'm like 10 episodes behind right now. But far and away, my favorite TV shows of all time are the MTV Real World Road Rules Challenge and Survivor. I'm a sucker for fucking reality TV show
Oh yeah,
competitions,
I've been watching
and
Survivor.
they are I'm still like 5 seasons behind on Survivor, but season 50 is like a best of type of season where there's a bunch of like returning people from back in the day that I'm very, very fond of. Coach is coming back. So I
Oh
need to
yeah,
catch up on the ones that I've missed so that I'm not spoiling other seasons for myself, even though I'm not completely happy with the direction that show has gone in these 40s, if you will. And then the challenge is at back upon the peak of its game where there are very few shows that are as long running as, in fact, one could argue that there are none. The Real World is the first reality TV show for the most part. It is the thing that the show that put reality TV on the map in its current iteration, in its most popular iteration. So the fact that dating back to 1992, there are still people that I've been watching on my TV for 30 years grow and change is nothing short of fucking amazing to me. And it is fun, even though it's fictionalized and embellished, to see the growth of people over time. even if it's through a campy reality TV show. So the
Sure.
challenge still fucking firing on all cylinders. Very, very dope shit. You got
I
anything
love
left
that.
besides the elephant
No,
in the room?
just Pluribus. Let me recap just to make sure. Yeah, no, just Pluribus for my list. Let's do this actually before we do
Pluribus.
that. Let's bring in the audience, and I'm gonna also
I love
include
that.
Heroic Headgear's game because I accidentally skipped Heroic Headgear's game from earlier. So this is the
Ooh.
non-gaming non-ies that our audience wrote into the Discord. Which, if you're this far into the episode and you don't know what I refer to when I say I'm pulling this from the Discord, if you go to dropinDropoutPod.com and join the Discord, every episode we have a little discussion thread where we ask some question that pertains to the topic or topics, and then we read them on the show. So this is that. First, we have Cog, who said, as for other media, gotta shout out Thunderbolts. It wasn't just a great superhero movie. It was just a great movie, period, between the cinematography, the performances, and some truly heart wrenching themes at the center. 14 out of 10, sobbed openly in the theater. I already said my piece, so I won't counter what he said about that movie. 2 out of 5, Jake said, which he says is good, apparently. Gianni said, for other media,
It
Alien
is.
Earth may have solidified itself as a top 10 show for me. It takes a lot of the existing lore and themes in the franchise and completely flips them upside down. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I need to finish Alien Earth. I watched half the season and then didn't finish it for whatever reason. And then
Heard it
now
doesn't
I need to go
stick the
back.
landing. Big Noah Hawley
Really?
guy though. Love Fargo.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. What's the Legion? Is that the other show that he did?
Did he do Legion?
I think so.
Man, maybe. I don't know. Coalmine says, for media, I've been watching Belle 2022 a lot. It's been my comfort movie I throw in whenever I have a shitty day. Hunter Schafer is also a voice actor in it. Very good, comforting movie. I will add that to the list. I'm not familiar with Belle. And then Kayla wrote, because she's the only one of us that can read, she said her favorite book from 2025 release was Heavenly Tyrant by Jiran J. Zhao, which is a sequel mixing political intrigue, women toppling the patriarchy, and Chinese mythology mixed with badass chi-powered super mechs. What more could you want, she says. Movies, she also mentions Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four, and K-pop Demon Hunters. And then music, Taylor Swift, of course. Sleep Token's new album was on repeat for me all year. And then also A Day to Remember Always. And then TV, she says, not going to lie, I'm a reality trash TV girly. So Secret Lives of Mormon Wives owned me this year, which is very good. I don't watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but I know all the drama because of Rose. So I know about Fruity Pebbles. If you know, you know. And then Jackal194 says, I introduced my kids to the Lord of the Rings. She loves it, and I'm so happy about that. Music, shout out to Woody Guthrie. I'm a slut for some great Depression / Dust Bowl folk music. The song All You Fascists Bound to Lose in particular rips so fucking hard. And then Heroic Headgear, whomst I skipped earlier, says, I played the Dead Space remake for the first time this year and actively pissed myself on stream, so that was rad, which, again, he owes me an Isaac Clarke helmet because I'm pretty sure I won that giveaway. And then for other media, without a doubt, and surprising nobody, my movie of the year is Predator Badlands. It's such a video game ass movie and a perfect jumping on point for people new to the franchise. And
I
that,
am
I do believe, is all of our
100% gonna
submissions.
watch that. I love when Alien and Predator get into their real sci-fi fucking bullshit world building stuff. I'm super into that shared universe, and Predator Badlands seems like it's all in on that. I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
I need it.
he needs it.
Pluribus, bro.
Bro,
Peak.
bruv.
Peak. I'm an episode behind still, so
I'm
no
also an episode
spoilies.
behind. I've not seen the most recent episode.
Yeah, I'm 4 episodes in. It was the Thanksgiving episode. It came out like a day early. It fucked up my whole
Yeah.
thing.
Fuck your girl.
But I will obviously catch up. Probably do a double header because I think the new episode comes out in 2.5 hours, 3 hours from
Nice.
now.
How much did you know about Pluribus going into Pluribus?
Nearly nothing. I want to say that I had seen a teaser trailer of someone creepily smiling,
Okay.
and that is all that I had seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
there was
went
a
in
clip
pretty
that was
blind for
released
that
out of
pilot
context
episode.
several months ago. I think it was someone smiling with the donuts. I think from the pilot.
Okay, makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that, and then I knew that it had something to do with there being like one person left. But that was about all I knew. And I knew, like, I had heard that it was going to be sci-fi in some capacity, which is
Sure.
new for Vince Gilligan, if you're familiar with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But man, this show continues to fucking impress me every single week. The pilot I think is so strong. The second episode I was not as high on. I was like, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this, but I'm not as like as locked in. But I trust Vince Gilligan implicitly, and like I was saying earlier, like he's such a master at building to something eventually fucking massive. So I'm like, as I'm
Hmm.
having like a good time with episode 2, or maybe it was episode 3. One of the It might have been episode 3 actually, where I was like, this just isn't hitting as much as the other ones. But I was like, but I guarantee you, at least one thing in this episode has the biggest implications that I'm just not considering right now because it's Vince fucking Gilligan. Because
Yeah,
Rhea Seahorn is just, she's so fucking good.
really, really fucking
Yeah.
good. I am such a sucker for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul that it's tough to think about a show that takes place outside of that universe and what makes a Vince Gilligan show versus what makes a show that's in the Breaking Bad averse, I guess. And I'm so pleasantly surprised to see how much DNA is easily identifiable. Some of the shots in this show are just so satisfying to watch. I think about like the back of like the pickup truck angles and opening the
Yeah.
back hatch of like the trunk in the first episode, in the conversation that they're having outside of like the bookstore right off jump, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, like this is Walt and Jesse having a conversation as easily as it is these two new characters having this conversation. And I'm just so red fucking hot on the storytelling, the mystery that is being told, and truthfully, not knowing where this show is going. Like, if you would have told me this was a limited series, I'd be like, oh, maybe I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I could see it. They're talking about this show being 3 or 4 seasons long, and I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck this show is. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Agreed.
so strange, so bizarre, and also seemingly ever evolving, where like the pilot episode is so much different in tone than the subsequent 3 episodes that I've watched. And I would say that the pilot is one of the strongest pilots I've ever seen. It is like
I agree.
such a compelling narrative, and I am so interested to see how things unfold. And then the way that they've unfolded since is so much different than I expected, both tonally and story wise, that I'm now hooked in a way that I didn't think I would be hooked initially. It is a very, very unique television program, and I can't recommend it enough. A lot of people are comparing it to Severance, which is only enhancing how interested I am in getting to Severance now because of how much I'm
Oh, for
enjoying
sure.
Pluribus.
For
But
sure.
yeah, man, just such a grand start for a show. And when I think about it, like the first season of Breaking Bad is good. It might even be great. It's not excellent. It is not the best season
No.
1 of all time or anything like
No, not
that.
at all.
And then even I would say like seasons 1 and 2 of Better Call Saul, they're good, maybe even excellent. Not the greatest shows of all time or anything like that. The start of season 1 of
Yeah.
Pluribus is arguably a stronger start than either of his 2 previous shows, which I'm super fucking hot on. So I
I
am rip
agree.
raring to go on this.
Yeah, I think I would say that both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul don't really hit their stride until seasons 3 for both shows. And the fact that, yeah, that this is already fucking fantastic 4 episodes in is, I'm so impressed. So for people watching or listening, if you don't know Pluribus and you haven't Googled it and you don't care about like the premise being spoiled, it follows a woman that is a famous writer. She's like a novelist. And one day, out of nowhere, basically the world ends and everybody else in the world becomes a hive mind other than her. And she's like trying to navigate that in this world of like, Is it an attack of some kind? Is it like, is there something, some way I can reverse it? But this hive mind is very like amicable to her and very like friendly,
Hmm.
but you can tell that there's something like there's more to it than that. And so that's like the basic premise of it, of her being like the last sentient woman, or the last like woman with free agency left on Earth. And it's such a different vibe than Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. And yeah, I can't believe how fucking locked in I am after 4 episodes. But I mean, I can't because it's Vince Gilligan and he's created 2 incredible shows, especially Breaking Bad. Like I'm one of the people that's like, if you think Breaking Bad is a 10, Better Call Saul is a 15. Like I think Better Call Saul is so much better than Breaking Bad,
Mm,
in its
I might agree
full
with you.
arc of a show, especially
Yeah.
the last like 3 seasons of Better Call Saul. I think, and I think it's just
Yes.
because Jimmy McGill is just a better protagonist than Walt is. I
Yeah,
think
I think they're really that's a podcast, baby, is
that's a
comparing Breaking
podcast.
Bad to, like,
Yeah,
I would probably argue that like Ozymandias is still maybe the best singular episode of TV outside of like season 2 episode 7 of The Leftovers.
sure,
Like just really fucking unbelievable edge of your seat, like how is this on cable type of shows.
sure.
But which also I think though with every passing day it becomes weaker in that like part of like the glory was like how is this on fucking like AMC, bro? Like what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah.
How is this possible? It's 2017. What the fuck is the world? Um
Um,
but yeah,
I know we're not the biggest sports people on the internet, but Noah just said LeBron's streak of scoring at least 10 points every game is over at 1,297 games. Fucking unreal to have scored at least 10
yeah,
points in nearly 1,300 straight basketball games.
crazy.
Time to retire.
Truly a sad day for all humans. Yeah,
Hang it
indeed.
up. Hang it up. Um, any other, any final thoughts on Pluribus or life?
Fucking that's a fucking show, baby. I
That's
love
a
it.
show.
Thanks for being my captive audience. I
Of course.
love listen, man. One of my great disappointments with Dido is not being able to keep these fuckers on the hook for longer than an hour and a half. All right. So when I can take P-Swag and fucking abduct him for nearly 3 hours, I get my fucking rocks off, to say the least. Very, very fun.
Lest we forget, it is quite common for a Dido pod to go over 2 hours.
I guess so, but I don't know.
But there was a
I
time
love
at the
it.
very, very beginning of planning this show where there was real consideration that we were going to shoot for 4 hours an episode. And I immediately was like, not me. Couldn't be me.
Dude, I want 4 hour episodes so bad. I truthfully feel like the best Dido moments happen like an hour and a half into the podcast when everyone's settled and chilling and uh, when there's too much to do. This is way too inside baseball for the end of a fucking episode. Um, but when there's too much to do and we're on this schedule and we're trying to get through this topic and that topic and that topic and people are starting to fucking fade and drop off, I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice. You know what I mean? It's when you're lost in the sauce and you're willing to go down that fucking weird rabbit hole on the fucking podcast and get messy and talk about how you like your steak cooked in the middle of a conversation about 2006's Dead Rising
Oh,
is
for sure.
the most interesting that our podcast can possibly get. But
Here's what I'll say. I will do 4 hour podcasts when it's legal to have that pesky little white powder at my fingertips at any given moment. You know what I'm saying?
and we'll see you all next week at the legalized heroin convention, baby. We
Exactly.
love to see it. Let's do a clean little send off here. Thank everybody for watching and for listening on podcast services around the globe. If you like this shit, find us on another platform is the best way to help drop in, drop out. Go check out the Spotlight Games Pod, pop into a JT stream, give a little thumbs up on a Cognitive Flips video essay, participate in a JK Games book club event. But most importantly, just keep it locked on our socials for all of the fun stuff that we have coming up in the month of December that we are in. Tons of stuff happening this weekend. Go check out COG's coverage of Metroid Prime, which is upon us. Stream tomorrow, podcast on Saturday. Next week, come play Mario Kart with us, whether you've been on the show or you're just a part of the community. We would love to see you on Wednesday night. And then be on the lookout for all of the exciting stuff that is on the way. Patrick, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate
Oh,
everybody's
always.
time and attendance. We'll wave at the camera, we'll end the show, and we'll raid on out of here.